What is going on, Pats Nation? It's your boy Colby, also known as Patriots Global, back here with another one. You guys have heard a lot from me this Thursday night, and I'm sure you're not used to it. I know my voice is not used to it. Let me tell you, my voice is hurting me right now. We had a 4-hour live stream play-by-play. Honestly, it started as a play-by-play. At the second half, it kind of just turned into a feeling circle and everybody venting for free instead of having to sign up for therapy, but that's okay. That's okay. We're here now. We were on Bleacher Report for a half hour, and now we are here on YouTube. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Rob from the House Call Sports. Let me put these names up just so you guys can see it. Make sure you guys go ahead and follow him on Instagram. We'll make sure to drop that handle below. And there we go. That's a little bit better. Make sure you guys go ahead and check him out. But today we are going to be recapping the New England Patriots Week 3 loss on the road, Jets home opener against the in-division rival New York Jets. Obviously, the New England Patriots falling a little bit short here. 3-24. Patriots lose in an absolute terrible fashion. This is the worst that they've lost so far this season. Week 1, they win a close game against the Bengals, largest projected deficit. Week 2 against the Seattle Seahawks. They play a very, very close game to where a one-play difference makes the difference. And the Seattle Seahawks, offensively and defensively, they are one of the best and highest-ranked teams, offensively and defensively, in the entire National Football League, and the Patriots were able to keep it close. Headed into this game, they were going up against the Jets, who, again, statistically, this is just a fact. This was the easiest defense the Patriots had to go up against, both in terms of pass rush and in coverage. And it was the easiest offense that they were going to have to go up against. So we thought Patriots could at least make this a competition. Not saying they were going to win, but at least make this a competition. And they weren't even able to do that. This video is brought to you by BetUS. We will talk to you guys a little bit later how you can get an exclusive 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, followed by a 125% sign-up bonus on your next 2 deposits. But like I said, we will talk about that a little bit later. Rob, how you doing, bro?
I don't know how to feel. Like you get it kind of a tease where you're like in both games the first 2 weeks of the season, and then you completely lay an egg. And I just don't. I've got notes, I guess, but there's really not much positive to draw from this other than maybe that Drake May drive.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, too. I want to say, first off, the reason we are starting off late is because the game actually went a lot longer than I was expecting it to. That was brought to you by a lot of injuries, but obviously had to be on Bleacher Report, and now we're here. So that is the reason we're starting off late. So thank you for everybody who is still in the chat and showing support. I know that this is a late one, but I also want to talk to Jets fans real quick because it's kind of funny, honestly, if you think about it. All these Jets fans, and there were some really, really great Jets fans. Shout out to my brother Richie from Jets Media. Shout out to Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 and Ian from Jets Central. Those are my brothers to the day I die. A lot of really, really cool Jets fans in the comment section and in the watch parties too. So this isn't to any of you guys. Like, you know, if you're real, you know, if you're realistic, and if you could just give the Patriots their props, then, you know, it's not a problem.
1 second before you go on what you're about to say, they deserve every bit to be successful. Finally.
Yep.
They've been the red-headed stepchild of the AFC. So if there's any team in this division I would like to see succeed, it's them. Mm-hmm. And that's about it.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, Jets fans deserve this. They don't even deserve this against the Patriots, but they deserve to just have some type of success. They deserve to have some type of taste at what the postseason is like. And I stand by that. But there are a lot of Jets fans that are coming at my neck because of what happened on the AFC East roundtable. By the way, me and Richie, we love each other. There's absolutely no problems. If I need to, I will call Richie up right now and get him here just to confirm that. But guys, I promise you, me and Richie were boys. The fight wasn't, you know, real like that. It wasn't personal. We know how to separate opinions on a stream versus
sports man.
Our actual life, man. But here's what I'll say. A lot of Jets fans coming in during my stream, tagging me on Twitter after, being like, you were talking all this shiz and you were going at it and look where you are now. I didn't say anything that was wrong. I didn't come in here with an opinion saying that the Patriots were going to whoop the Jets. I wasn't saying that the Patriots were the better team. Now, what I did say is that this game could go either way. I thought that this would be a close game, as many projected it to be. I thought that this would be a close game that if the Patriots win, I wouldn't be surprised. If the Patriots lose, I wouldn't be surprised. And based off of the level of play the Patriots showed me from the first 2 weeks, I said, with how close I think this game will be, I'm going to take my Patriots, as any fan would. So I did take the Patriots. But I backed that up by stats, right? And here's the thing. Any reason that Jets fans were giving me on why they thought the Jets would win was all based off of opinions. Nobody gave me any actual facts. The reason that I thought the Patriots would win is because of these stats alone. Heading into this game, the Patriots had the second best run defense. Jets were 24. Pass defense, the Jets were 17th. The Pats were 25. The Patriots were averaging 4.7 yards on the ground, while the Jets were averaging 3.9. I said the Jets had the 10th best offensive line in pass blocking and run blocking, so it was going to be a true test for the Patriots, as it was. The Patriots had the 7th best pass rush heading into this game. The Jets had the 7th worst pass rush in this game. This is the easiest coverage unit that the Patriots would have to face offensively. They faced Seattle, who was ranked number 1, and they had to go up against the Bengals, who were the 5th. Again, heading into this game, the Jets were the 17th ranked coverage unit defensively. They also lost Jermaine Johnson week 2 for the season, and Jermaine Johnson had a 16.7 pass rush win rate, which was second best on the Jets. I thought Sauce Gardner, was playing good football, but he wasn't playing up to his standards. Week 2, 7 targets, 5 receptions, 97 yards, which for Sauce, that's a lot for him. That's a lot for a number 1 shutdown cornerback. The Titans had the 4th worst offense in the NFL, while the Patriots were ranked 13th heading into this game. The Titans had the 3rd worst passing offense in the NFL, while, Robin, I don't know how this is the case. The Patriots were somehow ranked 15th. The Titans were able to have success against the Jets on the ground, who had the 13th best rushing attack, while the Patriots had the 7th best rushing attack, according to PFF. The Patriots were also tied for 4th most rushing yards per game, while the Titans were 13th. So that's why I thought the Patriots were going to be able to win this game. I thought it was going to be close. But when you look at all of those statistics, the Patriots matched up very, very well with what the Patriots do well versus what the Jets had been struggling with for 2 weeks. So before anybody comes at my neck saying you thought the Patriots were going to do this X, Y, and Z, no, I didn't. I thought it was going to be a close game. I said it could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised. And I backed up why I was taking the Pats with statistics. Let's just make that clear. Don't get mad at me for those statistics. It is from PFF and NFL Network. If you're upset, go off on your own team. Go off on those websites for providing the sacks. But at the end of the day, it's seriously not on me. Also, for the people, let's just get into the game. Let's get into the game real quick. I want to get into the super chats. Joey comes in with a $2 donation saying Pat's O-line gave up 22 pressures and 7 sacks. Absolutely awful. Rob, I can't even say I'm surprised. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that bad, but I can't say I'm surprised. Like, statistically,
I think half of those were like on the last drive where Drake May had to literally battle back on 4th down twice.
Yeah. So Jacoby was sacked, and we'll get into the defense. We'll go offense and defense, but Jacoby was sacked 5 times. Drake May was sacked 2 times, and he was barely in there. Keep in mind, the Patriots had a 44% pressure rate week 1 and a 50% pressure rate last week. Rob, I think it went up this week. Like, I think they're getting worse. They're getting worse as time goes on.
Records today.
They're getting worse as time goes on. They're not getting better. Shout out to Sean, who gives a $5 donation saying, you're coping so hard. Y'all were never going to win, but hey, wish you luck for the rest of the season. But thank you. But you were way too optimistic. May looks good. Shout out to you for the $5
one second. Appreciate the donation. But how are we being too optimistic? We went against the Bengals, who everybody has said that they're a top team, right? At least a playoff team. And then we played strong against the Seahawks. Anybody that thinks that we're just being blindly optimistic, that's silly. Especially with how our run game was playing. The problem is this team is not a team that can play from behind. Once we got punched in the mouth, we do not have the guns on offense to make it happen. And part of those guns happens to fall on our offensive line. If they can't block long enough, then we can't move the ball. And that's another thing that we found out tonight. Caden Wallace can't play left tackle, at least for right now, is from what I've seen. Maybe he improves throughout the season. I think he's a little too stiff to play on the left side because he's played right tackle his whole career in college. But going back to it, to say that like we're just being blindly optimistic after what we see in the first 2 games, that's silly.
Here's the thing too,
how
right?
we performed.
The Patriots, like, we're not being overly optimistic. There were reasons why. Again, if you can back up by stats why you think your team is going to win, then you can't say you're overly optimistic. The stats back up why I thought that the Patriots at least had a chance to win this game. And
we put up 180 rushing yards against the Seahawks. 180 against the Seahawks and what 120, 130 against 150 against the freaking Bengals. Come on, man.
Here's the thing too, right? Here's the thing. People trying to say, you said that this would be the easiest game the Patriots would play all year. Jets fans, please quote correctly. Please go ahead and clip the video where I said, this is the easiest game the Patriots will play all season. I didn't say that. I said that this is the easiest game the Patriots will have played so far this season. I said it could be a matchup between them and the Bengals. You could toss it up and make a case, but it is at least an easier game than last week at home against the Seahawks. That, again, is not an opinion. That is a fact. You look at the Seahawks, ranked higher than you, according to pretty much every single metric, offensively and defensively. So, yes, I did think that this was going to be an easier matchup. And the problem is that there's people talking in hindsight. There's people coming back and they're saying, you were wrong. You talked all this shiz. It's very easy to talk in hindsight. You know, I could clown the Jets organization and you Jets fans for not drafting Tom Brady in the 6th round back in 2001. I could do that. But again, you're talking in hindsight. It's easy to say something after an event happens rather than trying to predict something in the moment.
At the end of the day, man, they'll say something behind a screen and never say it on the camera. Because at the end of the day, they could say it all day behind a screen and not say it on camera and then poke fun after the fact. Hey, listen, I told you so. Okay, show me before the game where you predicted this or predicted anything. Look, when it comes to divisional games, the games can go any which way. It's just how it is. That's how division games go. It's just that, like, we're in a rebuild, guys. It is what it is. Nobody thought this team was going to do anything crazy to begin with, and just happy to, like, at least be competitive in any of these games.
Look, at the end of the day, like we said, we're going to start breaking down this game. But like we said, the Jets deserve to win this game. They are the better paper. The Patriots, realistically, like, they shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Patriots shouldn't be winning against, like, good teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know the Patriots aren't going to be a good team. We know that they're going to be like a 6, if they're lucky, 7-win team max, right? We understand that. Let's just make it clear. The Jets were the better team. You are the better team on paper, easily. Nobody ever said you weren't. But let's just make one thing clear. Real quick, too, let's get into Joey. Joey comes back with a second donation, said 22 pressures on 39 blocking snaps. That would be a 56.4 pressure rate. You're not winning in the National Football League with that. Like we said, it was 50 last week, 44 week 1. So it looks like the pressure rate for New England
Joey,
is going
appreciate that stat, by the way.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's actually going to go a long way. Shout out to Jets Pack. Thanks, buddy, for the $2 donation. You are feeding my pockets right now. I really appreciate that. You said, sit down and shut, bozo, honk, honk, go to bed. Guess what? You know what? It's you Jets fans that I'm talking to, because the Jets fans that understand, hey, good game. We won. We were the better team. 100%. You won. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. But at the end of the day, the people who talk like this, we still own the New York Jets. You have won what? You won out of the last 17 matchups. You've lost that, 2. Man. You've won 2 games. That's all I'm saying. You don't have the monkey off your back. You don't have the monkey off your back yet until you can own us. Congrats. But here's the thing too. And I'm going to bring this up on the AFC's roundtable. How come all offseason and regular season, y'all just talked about how bad the Patriots were? We suck. We're the worst team in the league. We're going to have the first overall draft pick. But then you beat us and you're taking victory laps. I don't understand the narrative. But let's get into this game.
Hey, listen, Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old. They let him enjoy their little parade in the 2 years that they have.
Anyway, so let's start talking about this game, though. Let's just start here with the quarterbacks. Jacoby Brissett, when you look at what he was working with, I thought that he played a really, really good game. He was 12 for 18, 98 yards, 8.2 yards on average, sacked 5 times, and overall a quarterback rating of 80.3. Another week where Jacoby Brissett is not the reason you lost the game, but just continues to give the Patriots opportunities to win. A 54% overall pressure rate in this game. Again, another worse statistic for the Patriots. Back-to-back weeks now, the Patriots pressure rate is just going up offensively, and Jacoby Brissett finding ways to still make plays, not turn over the ball, hasn't had a single turnover now through 3 weeks. And again, the fact that he's only taken 5 sacks in this game on a 54% overall pressure rate is absolutely insane. I thought any opportunities he had, I mean, whether he's dancing around the pocket, whether he's throwing on the run, he's also been really accurate in hitting his guys down the field when those guys are open. And honestly, these stats should look even better. These stats would look better if penalties did not occur due to the offensive line.
Yeah, and also when the time of possession is 20 minutes to 9, Jets yards, 252 offensive yards to a 40. first down 17-4. I mean, like, you really can't win many games. And we got to find out that Jawan Bentley was really in sorely missed today because Jelani Tavai is an absolute liability in coverage.
Jelani Tavai is a very good linebacker when he's not asked to be your linebacker one. When he's able to do things that he does well and bouncing all around the field and rushing the passer and shooting the gaps, he's really, really good. But when you're asking him to be a leader and you're asking him to be that number one guy, no, he really just he just doesn't perform well. He's not a number one linebacker. He's not a guy that can just take over a team like that. And I think that's why you're realizing how big of a role Jawan Bentley had. He had over 100 total tackles the last, 3-4 seasons. And he was a captain for the Patriots. Like, he was the absolute dog. He had that green dot on the back of his head in order to get the Patriots lined up correctly. Last week, several times the defense had blown coverage against the Seattle Seahawks when Jawan Bentley went out of the game. We had issues with that yet again. And unfortunately, injuries are piling themselves up defensively too, more specifically with these top guys, with these captains. You know, you had Jawan Bentley last week. You had Jabril Peppers in and out of the game this week, which is a massive, massive leader for this team. Keon White also went down with an injury late in the game. That is your best pass rusher right now. Like, the team just kind of got bullied from every standpoint. But Rob, I feel like everybody's going to want to know about kind of the elephant in the room. And that is Drake May. Nobody expected Drake May to play in this game. I don't think Drake May expected to play in this game. He comes out with a few minutes left in the fourth quarter, and we get our first glimpse at the future. Half of Pats Nation love that he's coming out here in the regular season and being given these opportunities to grow and develop. Some even want him to be the full-time starter right now. Others are screaming at the team for putting him out there whatsoever behind this offensive line. He ends up finishing today 4 for 8, 22 yards, 5.5 yards on average. He took 2 sacks, but also ran 2 attempts for 12 yards, converted 2 times on fourth down, 1 through the air, 1 on the ground. What were your thoughts on Drake?
I think what the stats won't show is the fact that he converted 2 fourth downs. One of the things I will say is he didn't look sharp, but he didn't look bad. That first throw made me almost have a heart attack, but outside of that, he did pretty damn good considering what he's had to work with. I have a little bit of a dilemma. I think that they purposely didn't let him score because they had the time to just call a timeout and probably let him try to go score a touchdown. And I think he would have. But if he goes and scores a touchdown and he's the only touchdown of the game, don't you think that makes all the media critics chirping a little bit more? And I think that's the reason why Gerard Mayo kind of swallowed his whistle in terms of calling a timeout and giving the kid at least a chance. But he converted 2 fourth downs. I think there's a lot of hope in the future, man, based off just what I saw. Yeah, it's way quicker release than Jacoby Brissett.
See, I wish that they would have utilized those timeouts just because you had them. No, it didn't matter. No, it wasn't going to be like, oh my God, the Patriots are back in this game. Now get the onside kick, get back in the end zone. And
give us something to look forward to, man.
It wasn't even that, but it was a confidence booster, right? Like, that's a confidence booster for Drake May. That is going to help carry that momentum for him whenever he does end up deciding to take over. By the way, he was able to start driving you down the field. He was in the 10, 15-yard range, knocking on the door to get in the end zone. At the end of the day, you probably only had 2, maybe 3 attempts max there if you utilized your timeouts, but utilize them. When the Patriots decided that they were done with this game, which was pretty much when the fourth quarter started, they just kind of gave up. They put out all the young players. You take out Ramondre, you put in JaMychal Hasty, you make Antonio Gibson your lead back for a couple of opportunities there. They put in the offensive tackle that they picked up off of waivers like 2 weeks ago. He came in as their starting left tackle. Like, Kayshon Boutte got into the mix a little bit there. I wish that we got to see maybe a couple of opportunities for like Javon Baker, at least one opportunity to go up with a 50-50 catch. But I feel like that was a prime opportunity for you to give Drake May confidence. See what you have. Give him a couple of shots in the end zone. Who cares if he turns the ball over? It doesn't matter. Who cares if it's a pick six? It doesn't matter. You're losing that game anyway. You have the timeouts. You have a little bit of extra time. You have a fresh set of downs. Why not see if he can make some magic and do something in the end zone? That's just a personal opinion. I wish they would have done that. Some things to obviously work on, though, right? And that's okay, right? Because now they have film for Drake May. Not a lot, but they have some film for Drake May in the regular season against an actual defense, against an in-division rival. And I'm not talking about a preseason defense. Like, this is an actual defense you're going to have to face 2 times a year. and having film and say, this is what you could do better. This is where you can improve on. I thought that there were a couple of times he ran that he looked really good. There were a couple of times he ran, he was kind of flinging the ball. I'm like, yo, Drake, what are you doing, bro? If you do that in a regular season game, at some point that ball is going to get knocked out. So kind of telling him, okay, it's fine to run, but ball security, maybe work on that just a little bit. Had a couple of bad throws that were just off timing, but he also hasn't played football in a while. He didn't know he was going to start. He has to get himself set. He has to get himself into a rhythm. That's one thing we know about Drake May too, right? Like he might start games slow. He might have a couple bad passes to start a game. But when he picks up the momentum, he gets himself in a pattern, he gets himself in a rhythm. That's when he picks things up and he starts to perform a lot better. So things you want back, but again, the chemistry is a little bit off here because he's rolling with a starting offense that he really hasn't gotten the opportunity to work with all that much. But overall, I wasn't saying there was a lot to take away from Drake May, but the fact that the Patriots offense, the entire game, scores 3 points. They're barely able to drive down the field. The first, I think it might have even been more, but at least I remember the first 2 offensive drives immediately go 3 and out. And Drake May, off the bench, is able to drive down the field and at least get them in the red zone, I think was promising.
And the fact that he wasn't warm either. I didn't really see him warm up that much on the sideline. So it is promising, man. And I'm looking at Jets fans in the comment section. Appreciate y'all hyping and helping the engagement. It really helps. But congratulations on your win today. It is what it is. Y'all were the better team. But as far as Drake May goes, look, it's some kind of promise. I think that first throw is probably the only one I really kind of be like, okay, why did you do that? But other than that, I thought he was pretty sharp. He wasn't perfect, but like I said, those 2 4th downs, and I really do wish they would have let him at least try to punch one into the end zone. Just give us something. Like, we knew that the game was lost. They, like you said, they outmatched us. They're like, I had people in my live earlier that were like, oh, flag this, flag that. No, they were flat out the better team all around today. We had no business being on the field, whether it was piss poor tackling or just overall like just undisciplined on like plays like Caden Wallace with the holding call, whatever. I just wish that they would have gave us something. Like, let the boy just punch one in.
And look, I'm not taking anything from the Jets here. At the end of the day, a win is a win, a loss is a loss, and that kind of is what it is. You're the better on paper roster. Like, you deserve to win this game at the end of the day so much more than we did, and that's very, very clear on all phases. But there were so many times that the Patriots like beat themselves with stupid flags that they just didn't need. A lot of those by Caden Wallace, or even with the terrible, terrible tackles. Like, how many times did we see them make a stop? How many times did we see them make plays behind the line of scrimmage? So many plays. And Rob, they literally would do this. They would see the running back and just go. They would just watch him go past. They didn't even try to tackle. It's like they said, it's a short week. I played 4 days ago. I'm tired. I really don't even care to be here. We're not going to go to the playoffs anyway, so I don't care if I win or lose. It's just like, what are you doing? And again, that's not to take anything away from the Jets, but on a lot of these plays, they didn't do anything special. It wasn't great blocking. The Patriots clearly had guys in the backfield, and they didn't do anything. They didn't try to even make the tackle. Terrible, terrible tackling by the Patriots. And if the tackling was better, would they have won? I don't know. But it at least would have given the Patriots more opportunities, right? And that's, I think,
tackles for 100 yards.
13 missed tackles for 100 yards. You're not going to win games that way. And it was very reminiscent from 2023 to where the Patriots continuously got flags from the offensive line that put the offense in second and long.
Ramondre Stevenson rushes the ball, stiff arms a guy, and gets a face mask. So it's like,
again, simple things where you're beating yourself. And I did this on my live stream. I was like, Ramondre, bro, it's this.
You called it last week. He fumbled the football today.
Bro, it's not hard. You don't need to grab onto his face mask. It doesn't give you any leverage. This is the same thing. This is the same thing as this. There was absolutely no need for it. I thought both the Patriots had some dirty plays. The Jets had definitely some dirty plays in there too. That Josh Uche hit was absolutely unacceptable. And even as a Patriots fan, I was calling for him, saying that he needs to be disciplined by the Patriots. He needs to be disciplined by the NFL. But there was just some bad officiating calls for sure on both sides, but definitely I would say on New York, there was some, again, not anything that's going to change the game. I mean, it's 3-24. It doesn't matter. But obviously just breaking things down from what we saw, can't say that it wasn't a thing. The big one that gets to me, though, is the call to where Jacoby Brissett is sacked. Jacoby Brissett isn't down. The defender can't pull him down. Nothing about him has gone down yet. He's still in the air looking for a play. He's able to get the ball out and hit somebody, and they call it a sack. What do you mean?
Are you talking about the one where they stopped the forward progress?
Yeah, and he hits Antonio Gibson. He hits Antonio Gibson, finds him, and Antonio Gibson had a first down. He had nothing but Greenfield ahead of him, and they called the play dead. They said that he was down and that it was a sack. How was he down?
He was pirouetting. He was basically spinning on his dial. I don't understand. Okay, yeah, that play, I don't understand how he stopped forward progress. He was still moving. If that was stop forward progress, then the Eli Manning Super Bowl one was definitely stop forward progress. I don't understand.
It didn't make sense. He got the ball. He was up. Not even a single part of him was close to being down. He was going like this and then gets the ball out, and then they basically whistled the play dead and said, nope, it doesn't matter. It's a sack. And it was just like, dude, how by any stretch of the imagination is that a sack? So that was annoying, but that's not even a Patriots versus Jets thing. That's an NFL thing. The leagues have been horrific already through 3 weeks. You're talking about week 1 with Chiefs and Ravens, week 2, Chiefs and whoever the heck they played week 2. Like, just officiating in general has been absolutely horrific with so many of these calls, things that just don't make sense. And that's just another one of them. A couple more super chats I want to get into here. Sean says, you don't have Bill anymore, so it's a clean slate. Y'all don't get to decide when it's a clean slate, right? Like, I feel like Jets fans are like, oh, so he's not here anymore, so it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is starting now because we beat you. So, dude, it's just a fact. It's just a fact. Look, here's what I said. I said the Jets will have the monkey off their backs if they can beat the Patriots again this season. If the Jets can beat the Patriots at Gillette Stadium this season and they're able to sweep the Patriots, the monkey's off your back. I'll give that to you. They beat you 15 straight times. We can pull up the log. It's just wins. For 20 years, they dominated you, right? But if you can sweep them and get 3 wins straight, I will give it to you. We can't use it. The monkey is off your back. And then after that, if you're able to start sweeping the Patriots after that, and you want to start saying you own the Patriots, okay. But you have 2 wins. 2 wins against the Patriots. The monkey is not off your back yet. You guys are so close to being there, but not yet. 2 wins after how long the Patriots have dominated you. You can't say that that monkey is off your back. It's starting to come off your back, right? But it's not completely there just yet. And you have to admit that. You have to say from an unbiased perspective, because if this was the other way around and you dominated the Patriots for this long and we won 2 games against you, you wouldn't say that the monkey's off your back.
Like, I will say, I'll give you an example. The Bills, the monkey's off their back. We 33-3, the freaking Tom Brady and the Patriots, or no, it's 30-3. He had 3 wins, I believe, when he was up with the Bucs against them. 30-3 against the Bills. That's a huge margin, but we haven't beat them pretty much since here and there. But like, they pretty much dominated us. Yeah, we can't say we own them. Exactly. So until you are a little bit more consistent, other than maybe here that look, y'all beat us today. We're not making excuses. Y'all just straight up beat our ass. But at the end of the day, you can't say, oh, you own us when we have a 20 years worth of tape.
Yeah, you've had 2 good games versus 20 years. Like, you can't say the monkey's off your back yet. You're close, but you're delusional if you think it's off the back already. Come on. But look, so Joey comes in with another $5 donation. Ooh, Rob, he says, correction, 22 pressures on 35 blocking snaps. That's 62.8% pressure rate. Holy... Bro, it's going up 10% each week. Rob, by like week 10, he's going to be pressured on every single one of his dropbacks.
I was going to say he's probably going to get pressured. He probably just got a pressure while I just went out with my camera. To let
62.8% pressure rate. And by the way, before like the Jets fans hype up their backs and whatnot, obviously the pass rush was good, but like at the end of the day, we've known that this offensive line was bad from last year. They lost one of their best offensive line pieces in Trent Brown, and it got worse. They did nothing to address it. Again, 44% week 1 against the Bengals, 50% last week against the Seahawks, 62.8% this week. The offensive line is not getting better. The offensive line is getting so much worse. Honestly, Rob, why don't we transition? Why don't we transition here into the offensive line? And I feel like there's really not too much to say. You suck, and that's it at the end of the day. I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of bright spots. I feel like my bright spots continue to be David Andrews. Michael Jordan, I think, is an absolute dog. He needs to compete or continue to be able to be given the opportunity to compete for a starting guard position, even for 2025. But Layden Robinson, inconsistent. Michael Onwenu's good at right tackle, but he has inconsistencies. He's an all-pro guard when he's there. And Caden Wallace, look, I understand he's a third-round pick. He's developing. There's a reason why they didn't want to start him. I'll be curious to see his stats and what they were like, but I did not think that this was a good showing from him.
At the end of the day, when your quarterback can't threaten with his legs, they're going to load the box. They're going to play closer to the line of scrimmage. So your offensive line is going to look worse. With that being said, if the team knows that we're basically going to just run the ball all the time, it probably will get progressively worse throughout the season because they know that's all we can do. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, but if you know a team can't throw the ball, I mean, when's the last time Jacoby Brissett threw for 200 yards? It's probably been 3-4 years. So
yeah, it's definitely been a minute.
I think it's been actually like 3 years since he's thrown over 150 yards.
So Jacoby Brissett is just someone who usually doesn't throw for that much, apparently. He kind of is someone who always has needed a kind of like a rushing attack with whatever offense he's been with. But I've got to get back. Real quick, though, guys, I do. And by the way, shout out to Joey again for not just the donation, but also the statistic. That actually helps us out tremendously when trying to break down.
I'll probably use that later when I go to do a post. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate you, brother.
Real quick, though, guys, I do want to give a massive shout out to the sponsors of this video and this channel all football season long. Those are my buddies over at BetUS. Right now, if you guys go ahead and you sign up for BetUS on their mobile app, or if you just are on the web, you look up BetUS, it takes less than 60 seconds to sign up. And when you guys do, and you use the promo code YouTube150, again, that is YouTube150, you guys will be given a limited time exclusive offer of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, followed by a 125% sign-up bonus on your following 2 deposits, all the way up to $2,000. That is a deal on your first 3 deposits when you use that promo code YouTube150. BetUS also can give you a 200% crypto deposit bonus. They can give you a 10% back on your net losses 2 times a year, and they can give you your very own personalized account manager. BetUS has the fastest payouts in the industry. They have a fast and easy deposit and withdrawal process, live wagering on all major games, and a 24/7 personalized service 365 days a year. Now, if we're Jets fans or Patriots fans in here, obviously this matchup is already done. Hope you hammered that +6. Or the minus, rather. I mean, they swept the Patriots. You guys beat us, obviously, by more than 6 points. First time, by the way, that BetUS actually got that right. Interesting little fact there. But if you want to bet on the other games in the division, try to see where these games are. We got the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, the Seahawks are the favorites with the over-under being 41 total points. Y'all let us know in the live chat who you think is going to win for this in-division matchup. Is it going to be the Miami Dolphins or is it going to be the Seattle Seahawks? Would love to know your thoughts. And then we have one more game for an in-division rival. We have the Jacksonville Jags against the Buffalo Bills. That is always a really fun matchup. Trevor Lawrence always plays hard against Josh Allen. Obviously, the Jacksonville Jags are 0-2 right now. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills are 2-0, with the Bills being the favorites and the over-under being 45.5. Y'all let us know. Patriots fans, Jets fans, who do you guys think is going to win these games for our in-division rivals? Let us know in the live chat. And again, check out BetUS to get that exclusive offer. But let's go to this one.
1 second, Jacoby. I don't know how accurate this is, but Joey's saying that Wallace gave up 3 pressures on 24 snaps and half a sack. If that's the case, that's actually pretty good, but
I'm terrible.
It's not terrible, but is that starting left tackle? No.
But what do you think about this? What do you think about this, Rob? Because I actually want to get your opinion on this real quick. Because obviously the offensive line is not really working itself out right now. Like they're not getting continuity. They're not getting better as time goes on. Obviously, injuries are a part of that. If we look back and these stats are right, and Caden Wallace didn't perform as bad as we thought. Obviously, penalties are a problem, but give him some opportunities. He's young, like he's a rookie. He's gonna have to try to just figure things out, right? What would you think Vidarian Lowe comes back, and Vidarian Lowe hasn't been bad as a left tackle. What do you think about he comes back, he's healthy, he's your starting left tackle. Michael Jordan's your starting left guard, who's probably been your most consistent player on the offensive line, if not your second. David Andrews at center, Mike Longwenu back to right guard, because Layden Robinson, the rookie's been wildly inconsistent, great at times, terrible at others, and then putting Caden Wallace at right tackle where he played in college. What do you think about that?
Dude, I'm getting tired of mixing around our freaking offensive line. I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, I'd rather let's just figure out what Caden Wallace is at left tackle. What you prescribed just now, I think that's a pretty good idea. But I would like a little bit more consistency, and I want this offensive line to build chemistry. And how the hell do we do that if we keep mixing and matching our offensive line? What do we see going into leading up to the season? We saw that our offensive line was being mismatched, hodgepodge, put together, and mixed around 17 different times before we finally got our final roster set up going into the week one. We have to build some sort of chemistry, and it's now going to be what, week 4? Can we please say, okay, this is our offensive line? I know what you're saying. Let's put Caden Wallace back at right tackle. I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, if he's going to go to right tackle, keep him there. Don't put him back at left tackle just because you want to fill in a spot. Because at that point, you're telling him to ride the bike forward and drink and also look backwards. Can we not do that? Let's pick an offensive line and stick with it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think you need to have one place for him and just put him there. I think that's also something that maybe has been hindering him, is it's been left to right and left and right throughout all of the offseason and in training camp and the preseason, to where if you wanted him to be your left tackle, if you developed him there the whole time, what would that have looked like? You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to cross-train him and ask him to do two things at once so he can focus on one thing rather than focusing on multiple things at once. But at the end of the day, he obviously has some of that experience. We don't know what's happening in practice and where he's been repping, if they're doing the same thing or if he's only been repping as a left tackle. But I would at least give it a look. At the end of the day, it's not going to hurt you. You know that you're not going to the playoffs, so it's not like this is going to hinder you from going to the postseason or anything like that. And if that is going to help this offensive line in any way, shape, or form, then maybe you talk about Drake May being able to start at some point. Because right now with the O-line, you can't even talk about Drake May starting with a 60 plus, even a 50 plus % pressure rate, over a 60 pressure rate this week. And next week against the Niners is probably going to be all the way up to 70%. So you just can't put Drake May back there with that type of offensive line. But if this is something that proves to be your best offensive line and they can bring down that percentage overall, maybe you start talking about, Drake May being able to start if this is an offensive line that would make sense. And I do think that obviously we have to see him at the NFL level, but Caden Wallace, bro, never, ever, ever repped as a left tackle in college. Ever. This is the first time they're trying him. This is the first time he's done it. To where maybe if you put him where he's comfortable and he's repped for years, maybe he'll look even better. Because now you have a right tackle who maybe has a little bit more consistency. You have Michael Onwenu, who goes from right tackle to where he's good to being an all-pro right guard, and now you can have some continuity on that right side. You have confidence in David Andrews. You have confidence in Michael Jordan, and then you just try to trust Vidarian Lowe on that left tackle side to just be healthy and consistent, to where when he's healthy, he's looked much better as a left tackle than he has a right tackle. So I don't know if they'll actually do it. I don't have much faith that they will. But as a Patriots fan, that's something that I would like to see them do, depending on, again, what those statistics end up looking like for Caden Wallace by the time that this game is done. But I want to get into a couple more, super chats here. Professionally Certified Hater, $5 donation, said, missed my super chat before.
I love that username.
I apologize, buddy. I didn't know that I missed it. So excuse me for that. I appreciate you for donating. I never want to miss any donation, so I do apologize. But he said, in my opinion, I don't think the stats from week 1 and week 2 can be used for predictions. Week 3 is where we get a proper sample size. So here's the thing.
Actually, November is where
so here's the thing. You can't look at it and say week 1 and week 2 doesn't matter, but only week 3 does. Here's the thing. It's you can't take anything away from a team week 1 and week 2 for the entirety of the season, which, by the way, that's not what I was trying to do for the Jets. I'm not trying to say that the Jets, because of how they performed week 1 and week 2, they're going to suck the rest of the season. That's not what I was saying. But I was taking the sample size that I saw from week 1 and week 2 to use it specifically for week 3 and this week 3 matchup alone. But I do agree with you. You don't know what a team's going to be like for the entire season based off of week 1 and week 2. Last year, the Patriots looked like they could be a contender for the postseason based off of how they played week 1 and week 2 of last year, even week 3. And then week 4, they get dominated by the Cowboys. So again, I've said this on my channel. I said this during my live stream earlier. I said this on the AFC East Roundtable. I've been saying this for weeks. It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. That is the most important thing. That's why everybody counting out the Bengals right now. The Bengals always do this. The Bengals always start off slow. It doesn't matter. It's like, stop trying to say that the Bengals are done because they sucked week 1 and week 2. It matters how you finish at the end of the day, no matter if you're the Patriots or any other team.
It's a week-to-week league, man. At the
Any
end
given
of the day,
Sunday.
it's a week-to-week. And here's the thing, though, that people are not putting in perspective. Injuries happen. Like, we lost Bentley, and I can guarantee you right now, I'm not saying we would have won this game, but I don't think they put up 24 points on us. Maybe you take away about 3-4 points. And maybe it'll be a little bit closer. But injuries happen, and it's like it's week to week. Teams develop. You really don't find out what your team is until November. I mean, Belichick even said it himself.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Lucas, $5 donation. Really, really appreciate you, buddy. You said, I appreciate both of y'all so much for breaking down everything in every game and keeping us Pats fans optimistic and blocking out the haters. We got you every week, bro. This is our job. This is what we're here to do. We love doing it, win or lose. Obviously, we're used to winning, but over the last few years, we're kind of used to losing too. So, like,
I was going to say, what are you talking about? I've got, like, anytime we get a win, I'm, like, getting an itch.
I know, dude. I know what it's like to be a Jets fan now because you get the win and you're like, I'm waking up earlier, dude.
I don't know about that, man. We won 6 Super Bowls in my lifetime. I think I know a little bit more about winning.
I know to a fraction what the Jets fans feel like. Obviously, they sucked for so long that even one win.
We've learned to appreciate the wins a little bit more
because
we didn't realize how rare Tom Brady was. Now it gave us perspective. Now we're a little bit more appreciative. Thank you, Jets fans.
We knew Tom Brady. Tom Brady was Tom Brady. Like, he was the greatest of all time. But we didn't know that it was so hard to hit on at least a decent quarterback in the NFL. And we have learned that the hard way, to where, let me tell you, week 1 after that win, man, I woke up early. I was strutting with my neighbors down the sidewalk that morning with some coffee. I had a little strut in my step. And then week 2, I was like, I'm sleeping until 5 p.m. today, and I'm not getting out of bed even when I am awake.
Nobody thought we were going to make the playoffs, but I mean, like, that win was pretty satisfying considering that we were 9.5-point dogs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, when people think you're not going to win and you win, like, no doubt you're going to be pumping your chest. But hey, win, lose, tie, good, bad. We are here to break down the New
all day,
Patriots, bro.
Go all day, every day. Don't matter.
Let's not forget, even if the Patriots suck for the rest of all of our lives, and they're only like a bottom of the league team. Knocking on wood, guys. I don't
have wood anywhere. Wait 1 second.
I'm knocking on all the wood there possibly is. But look, even if that happens, we have witnessed the most successful franchise in NFL history. And I've been lucky enough through my 22 years of living, growing up, seeing the Patriots win. And at the end of the day, I see what it's like and how much of a struggle it is for the rest of the league. And I realized how grateful and thankful I am. So even if that does happen, I'm satisfied because I got to witness something that no one else in their lifetime, except for, I guess, Chiefs fans, are going to be able to. And not even to the extent of the Patriots, but they're experiencing what it's like to be a dynasty. But most other people throughout their lifetimes they're never going to see that. So I'm grateful. I really am grateful. Win, lose, at the end of the day, what we were given, no matter how we are going forward, I will 100% be appreciative for. But
if we didn't leave without Brady when he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what makes you think we're going to leave once we had Mac Jones and everything else that transpires after that?
Yeah, we had Mac Jones. Come on, guys. Come on. Joey comes in and says, Wallace, 3 pressures out of 24 pass blocking snaps, plus a half a sack allowed. $2 donation from Joey. Shout out to you, buddy. Appreciate it. You are killing it in the super chat game today.
I wonder if that's true. Where is he getting his stats from?
If I remember correctly, it's Next Gen Stats. I think Joey gets his stats from. I remember
Joey,
correctly.
you're a dog. Appreciate you, brother.
Joey, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you get them from Next Gen Stats. I think you told me that one time. Shout out to New York Jets. Nick with a $5 donation says, Colby, good game, broski. Thought the Brissett pick of the best quarterback last week was sus over Rodgers, but I respect you, my guy. Got to give the Jets respect now, though. 100%. Dude, and here's the thing, too. I respect the Jets. I respect what you guys have been doing, the roster you've been building. I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with everything the Jets are doing. I have my critiques on the Jets. Understandably,
I think it's a
critiques.
I think it's a leadership thing with me. I don't think that they're a very talented team. I think Rodgers is a little bit full of himself. That's really just where my thought process, like not coming into training camp and all that stuff or whatever. I can't remember. Quote me, Jets fans. I know you're all in here. What was he not showing up to and not showing up as a leader? That's my biggest thing, and that's my biggest gripe. I think you guys are really like, this is where you're going. I don't know how long that is because Darren Rodgers is old as shit, but you're going this way. We're going, I don't know, but yeah,
we're here.
That's my biggest thing is I just think Aaron Rodgers is really egotistical, and I don't.
Yeah, so like my thing about the Jets was y'all were still going to be a good team, but I started to have my concerns. I never thought you were going to be a bottom of the league team. Go back to the AFC East roundtable, check out everything that we did, check out all of our shows. I've always given my respect to the Jets for being a good roster, but I had my critiques. And I think that's the problem is that as soon as I gave a single critique about the Jets, I had Jets fans in my ear barking at me, giving me hate just because I gave them critiques. I give the Jets their flowers when they deserve it. But no team is perfect. Every team has a critique, just like the Patriots. Even when we were dominant, there were things to critique, just like the Jets. Some things that I didn't necessarily agree with, like I questioned how Rodgers were going to come back from that injury and what he was going to look like with the Jets because we didn't get to see that. I didn't agree with some of the things happening behind the scenes. I think that there was some drama with Rodgers getting fined, with going to Egypt. Supposedly it was okay, but if it was okay, why was he getting fined? The whole Hassan Reddick situation, Garrett Wilson week 1 being on the sideline, or not Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner week 1 on the sideline, throwing his helmet, not being happy, and your PR team saying it wasn't due to like injuries. I don't like Robert Saleh personally. It's nothing personal. I just think that the Achilles heel to the Jets in this Super Bowl window that they have until Aaron Rodgers retires, I think the Achilles heel, if we look back and say, why did this team not do more in this window? I think it's going to be because of Robert Saleh, and Robert Saleh has proven so many times just like not do things right and being questionable coach. I have Jets fans who are YouTubers who have said the exact same thing. I think that we could be looking at this down the line and saying Robert Saleh is the Achilles heel to this team, and they need to find someone who is a better coach who can run this team a lot better and keep everybody motivated. You have the roster, you have the pieces. That's the hardest thing. Now it's about keeping everybody motivated and everybody on the same page and fighting for the players to their left and to their right and not being like me.
I know it's not a super chat, but I'm looking at the chat right now. They blame Mac for all the failures, but can't blame Brissett. Here's my biggest thing, Michaela, and I seen you came at. I seen that this person came at me in the first video. At the end of the day, I don't know how much we can blame on Brissett when he's been able to hold the ball. I mean, before coming into this game, he had the third longest time to throw the football with 3.23 seconds. However, if we have 2 games of a sample size, we have 3 years with Mac Jones. What are we doing here? Stop it. Come on. Don't be like that.
Here's the thing, though. Statistics do back up that Jacoby Brissett has been a much, much better quarterback with what he's given. You have to look at the pressure rates. What was Mac Jones given versus what is Jacoby Brissett given? And Mac Jones, the offensive line was terrible. He was pressured on significant amount of his dropbacks. They had the worst pass blocking offense according to every metric last year. And we said that. We said the Patriots screwed up Mac Jones. We said that this offensive line was a problem. The lack of a wide receiver 1 was a problem. But we also said is that they screwed Mac Jones up so much that he might not be able to be revived, especially because that confidence aspect, that mental aspect was so screwed up. And that is so important for the quarterback position to where we said, we have the 3rd overall pick. Let's not test the most important position in football and see if he can come back or not, which most quarterbacks can't. Let's just draft a guy who's going to be more talented off the bat. And if Mac Jones can succeed somewhere else, that's great. But let's not play with fire. Let's not bet on ourselves. And let's
Not even just that. Mac Jones also put the ball in the other team's hands.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett hasn't done that yet. Now, if he starts doing that routinely, best believe me and Colby will get on him. Nobody's absence of blame here. But at the end of the day, if he's not, look, I think he could, like, wide receivers are getting open. Like Taylor Kyles, Andrew Callahan, Evan Lazar, all these guys do really great job with CLNS and with the Patriots and all that stuff. And they show that plays where wide receivers are getting open. But also, like, he's not making the turnovers. I don't think he's doing great, but I don't think he's doing bad. Mac Jones was bad.
And here's the thing too, right? Like Jalen Polk, he has the number one separation percentage out of all rookie wide receivers from the 2024 draft. He's open. Demario Douglas is open. Is Jacoby Brissett been perfect? No, but he isn't given the time to be able to get the ball out and make the plays. And that's just not on him. Him getting sacked, or for the most part, him getting sacked and all of these pressures, like that's just not on him. Having 1-2 defenders in his face as soon as the ball hits his hands is not his fault. That's not his problem. And I thought that he's done a way better job, especially a way better job than what's been advertised and what was advertised when we signed him, at being able to extend plays and avoid the pressure. I thought he's done so much better than we could have possibly expected. And he doesn't have a lot of plays that are turnover worthy. The only real play that I could think of is week 1 against the Bengals, to where he should have been intercepted and then a great play from Hunter Henry. Other than that, I can't really think of a single play where Jacoby Brissett has put the ball in harm's way, despite how much pressure he has in his face and how much, good defenses he's had to go up against here through week 3. So I think he's doing really, really well. We'll give him the hate when it's needed. But again, what stats are showing you that Jacoby Brissett is the reason that you're losing games?
And he's not a good quarterback. Like we're not.
He's not franchise. No.
They're both bad quarterbacks, but let's not pretend like he's been turning over the ball. They like Colby said, there was only one pass, and it was in the first game. It was a Hunter Henry pass where he basically put it in harm's way. Other than that, I haven't seen anything.
Real quick though, the other thing I will say though about the super chat is I thought that he thought that was a little sus. We have this little thing on the AFC's roundtable we're doing every single week where it's called Glenn's quarterback check-in, basically, and it's looking at the stats from each of the quarterback, and it's which quarterback do you think played the best, and rank the quarterbacks in the AFC East. I said it was Tua, then Josh Allen, and this was for last week. Tua, Josh Allen, and then I said it's a toss in the air. I was like, I think it is a 0.1 decibel of a difference between Rodgers and Jacoby. Rodgers had one more passing touchdown, but also was given multiple turnovers by the Titans offense to where it set them into better field goal position. The Patriots didn't have a single one, and he had a little bit of a better yards and overall rating. I said that I think the overall stats were very close, but the reason that I was given a slight edge to Jacoby is because last week, first off, Jacoby Brissett has way worse receiving cast. He has a way worse offensive line. Patriots have this 32nd best offensive line. The Jets have a top 10 offensive line. And Jacoby Brissett, 0 turnovers, brought the Patriots to 20 points and almost another win, 20 points all by himself, driving the Patriots down the field despite a 50% pressure rate. I was more impressed with Jacoby Brissett because of all of these factors that went into it. That was my opinion. Everybody got mad for it, especially Jets fans. Again, I said it was very, very close. But I think when you look at who is more impressive in their circumstances, I stand by it that I do think Jacoby Brissett was more impressive. Is he the better quarterback? No. But I thought based off of that matchup alone from week 2, Jacoby Brissett was a little bit more impressive to me when you think about what actually happened in those games. But New York Jets, Nick, brother, I really appreciate you for supporting me and supporting the channel. You're a good Jets fan. You're a good Jets fan. I respect you. I respect the fact that you beat our team. You were the better team. I'll say it yet again. You are the type of Jets fan to where I say openly with wide arms, you were the better team. You beat us. Congratulations. And you specifically, I am happy for you. It's these Jets fans that can be civil and nice and not delusional, that I can literally say, I am happy for you and you deserve this. So shout out to you, buddy. I appreciate it. A couple more super chats here. Joey comes in with another $2 donation, says Layden Robinson, the starting right guard as a rookie, 5 pressures out of 35 pass blocking snaps, plus 2.5 sacks.
God damn.
Rob, I think what I said earlier might really have to come into fruition here. If this is how Layden Robinson is going to play, either you need City so back ASAP, or this is going to be a situation where...
The thing is, though, Layden Robinson has a ton of potential, though, but he just
He's just inconsistent. He's wildly inconsistent. The problem, Rob, is that he's good at run blocking, but not pass blocking. He was one of the worst pass blocking guards for the Patriots during the preseason, but he was the best run blocking guard. So it's going to be a question on, well, okay, do you want a guy in there that's better for pass blocking or a guy that's better at run blocking? And I think right now the pass blocking is so bad in a pass first league to where I think you're going to need a guy who is maybe a little bit better overall. And I think that either when City So comes back, that's a conversation you have to have, or you put Michael Onwenu back at right guard and you put Caden at right tackle and Vidarian Lowe at left tackle when he comes back. But I think it has to be a discussion because through 3 weeks, Layden Robinson has been a big problem with this O-line.
I got a request for you. What are we doing with Cole Strange?
That's it. It's interesting, right? It's really interesting what they're doing with him.
Like, if there's ever an opportunity for him to come back and maybe make some money off his name, based off how the offensive line has kind of held up, this might be the time.
We thought we thought that he was out after we drafted this many guards. The last 2 years, we were like, dude, like just trade him.
Listen. Let's call a spade a spade. I wanted him out because based off what he's done, I'm like, you know what, good riddance. But at this point, what could it hurt to see what he can do?
It won't
when he's healthy.
Now, obviously, he hasn't played football in a while, so that's the caveat on it. How's he going to come back? But what I do like about Cole Strange, though, is I think that he's super athletic. He's shown really good potential when he's been able to stay healthy. It's just about staying healthy. But I think in this system with Alex Van Pelt alone, guards who are, offensive linemen who are athletic and they are fast, they're agile, and can get down the field quick to block. Those are the type of players that they need in this offense. And I think that Cole Strange could be a star on this offensive line specifically. He just needs to stay healthy. And again, based off of how things are going, he might be somebody who they start to look and give an opportunity to. At this point, Rob, honestly, when he's eligible to come back, if he's healthy, I don't care if he hasn't played in a while. It can't be worse than what we've seen.
I mean, did we really expect Anthony Jennings to make the leap that he made? Like, there are players that make leaps.
Yeah, I agree with you. My boy Felipe coming in here with a $5 donation saying, coming into week 2, the Pats had 85 yards and 1 touchdown from wide receivers. If it wasn't for Douglas's 69 yards today, Patriots have more than O-line problem, by the way. So here's the thing. Yes, the wide receivers need to be better, but like we saw the potential last year with like Demario Douglas, right? Like we know that these guys have potential. Kendrick Bourne is coming back. KJ Osborne, I think, is a dog. Like we saw him have 600-700 yards last year, like even the last 2 years. That guy is a dog. Again, when KB comes back, that's going to be your number 1 wide receiver. The problem isn't that these wide receivers aren't open. Yes, they haven't been great, but at the end of the day, Jacoby hasn't had the opportunity to get them the ball because he's either stacked, he has pressure, or the guys that are getting open, he's not able to set his feet enough to be able to make those accurate plays down the field. Because at the end of the day, the last thing you want is for Jacoby Brissett to see Jalen Polk on the other side of the field when he has to go out wide left to extend the play because he has 2 defenders in his face and then throw across his body to Jalen Polk. Now he's putting the ball at risk. You don't want him to try to force a throw and put the ball at risk because now you're going to lose the game, period, if you're giving opposing defenses more opportunities. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. A lot of times the Patriots shot themselves in the foot. What was it, Rob? 8 games they lost last year by 1 possession that came down to either a turnover by the quarterback or just a bad kicker. You hit on the kicker. Joey Sly is a dog, but now you just need consistency from offense and not turning the ball over and just finding a way to have a better offensive line to where there's enough time for your quarterback to make these throws to these wide receivers. Pop Douglas, Jalen Polk, I know you're not seeing it on the field. The stats aren't lighting it up, but they are getting open.
Jalen Polk has so I was going to say this coming into this video. People have made such a big deal about us drafting Jalen Polk. And then when you go and look at it, I don't know if you've seen the stat on my Instagram, Colby. He has the highest separation win rate out of every rookie in this class. So he's getting open. He's winning 31.4%. I believe it's I have the stat somewhere. Regardless, you kind of trust me, it's in the 31% power range. It's pretty impressive. He's able to separate, but all the other things kind of have to fall in place first.
Yeah, I agree. My boy Patriots 92 comes in here with a $5 donation. You guys are killing the game today. I appreciate you all so much. But he says, what happened to the Jets once I think he says what will happen to the Jets once Rodgers retires? Will the Jets still be competitive? Rob, what do you think?
It's still too. I mean, things change from a 5-year window. I'm saying it's kind of hard to replace a Aaron Rodgers, and we've seen how long it took the Jets to get a quarterback, and they had to go buy a quarterback. They had to go get one in free agency. So no, not free agency. They traded for him. So who knows? But I will say that maybe we'll be competitive by then.
Yeah, so here's what I'll say. They're not going to, well, I can't say they're not going to be because who is the quarterback that is the succession plan? If you're telling me that the quarterback they drafted in the 4th round is a succession plan, I'm sorry, but you are absolutely delusional if you think that he is going to come in and be an elite franchise quarterback. Like, especially after what we saw in the preseason.
Jordan Travis.
No, bro, he is not the future for you. I understand wanting to develop him. I don't mind the Jets taking a shot at quarterback. Take a shot at quarterback every single year and just see if you can hit on those guys.
So I think what I prescribed on the House Call Sports, I made the graphic and everything. Maybe the Jets should trade for Bryce Young. He's going to be cheap. He's not going to cost much, and have him sit for a couple years behind a Hall of Fame quarterback.
I actually like that.
And what are you going to have to give up? A 6th for a 1st overall pick that has potential if he could just learn from one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
I'd have to see what Trey Lance went for. I think Trey Lance went for like a 4th or something like that. So it might be similar to that situation. But dude, I like that. I think that would make a lot of sense.
Beggars can't be choosers. They're gonna have to settle for whatever anybody will give them.
Here's the thing.
Because they're gonna be put in a situation now where they're gonna have probably the 1st overall pick.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, we don't know. But my educated guess here at what day is it? September 20th at 1:12 in the morning. I am gonna say here in 2024 that the Jets won't be a bottom 3 team, but they are not going to be a contender. They're not going to be elite. They're not going to be the same team. We've seen with the Patriots. You have Jets fans have seen what it's like to hit on the quarterback position and to have a liability at the quarterback position. If you hit on that position, you immediately become a different team. Versus if you don't hit on that position, everything around you needs to be perfect. And you don't have the coaching with Robert Saleh to run a perfect team. And we have already seen that throughout his tenure. We've already seen that this year.
I don't think he's a good head coach. I think Aaron Rodgers makes him look good.
And who knows too, Rob? Like, we don't know. Whenever Rodgers retires, who's going to be available, right? There could be a top quarterback available and the Jets make a trade and nothing matters. But I think if the Jets have to go back into the quarterback carousel, then they're screwed. They've proven that they can't draft and develop young quarterbacks, especially in the 1st round. Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, you took both of those guys in the top 5, definitely top 10. And you couldn't develop either of those guys into being something. I don't believe in their ability to draft, no matter where it is, a quarterback and develop him. I think that they need proven veterans who have established themselves already. So who knows what the Jets will be like when the time comes, but they have a dog of a defense. They have Quinnen Williams. They have Sauce Gardner, who are young players who are going to be here for a long time. They have a dynamic duo in the backfield. They have Garrett Wilson. But again,
they're going to have to pay all those guys.
That's true too. I mean, look, they're able to draft, and that's very clear. It's just the developing the quarterback side of things that they haven't exactly been able to do. And again, you have to play pretty much perfect football if you don't hit on the position. So I don't think they'll ever be a bottom
drafting defense.
I think even if they lose Rodgers, they're not going to be a bottom 3 team or anything like that. But are they going to be a playoff team? Are they going to be a playoff team? No. I think they could still be a 6-win team, but I don't think that they're going to be anything more than that. But again, it just depends. We can't predict the future. Nobody can. But shout out to you again, buddy, for the $5 donation. But Rob, I do want to talk about these running backs here. And I do want to get your thoughts on overall how this performance was. Patriots had one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL, and clearly that didn't show. Overall, not really a lot of opportunities for this offense. Jacoby Brissett, 8 attempts. Drake May, 8 attempts. Antonio Gibson, 5 carries. Ramondre Stevenson, 6 carries. Keep in mind, Stevenson the last 2 weeks has averaged at least 20 carries per game, and clearly not given the opportunity here. And it's important to remember that with running backs, they need opportunities, because the more opportunities they have, the more they get going, the more that they can build a repertoire and a report and put these patterns together and start getting it going and tire out a defense and string together these bigger plays. None of these running backs were given that today. And I understand that it's because the Jets started cooking immediately and the Patriots had to start passing in order to keep themselves in the game. But honestly, I would have said keep going with the rushing attack, because through 2 weeks, that's been the only thing that has given you any type of success. You know that you don't have a good offensive line that's going to help you in your overall passing game. And your passing game overall is giving you nothing the last 2 weeks. So I don't care if you're behind. I would still say the Patriots should have ran the ball, because this dynamic duo of Gibson and Stevenson is the only positive thing that this offense has.
And to piggyback off that, they didn't do bad. You got 5.8 yards for Gibson per carry, and you got 3.8 for Ramondre Stevenson. That's a small sample size, but they didn't do anything wrong. We just never were ahead. Or, like I said, what did I say at the beginning of this live? I said we're not a team that can compete when we're behind. So we were already behind the 8 ball, and we had to pass the football, and that was already a recipe for disaster, being a run-first team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it wasn't that they were bad. I mean, early in the game, they couldn't really get much going. For Ramondre's standards, he wasn't great, but Gibson with another good game all around. And I just wish that they gave these guys, more opportunity.
It doesn't help when we're averaging 1.8 yards per play in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, we got shut out in the second half, too. I mean, 3 out of 4 quarters, we didn't put up a single point. But
we had 3 first downs in the first half. They had 6.
That's wild. But something I did like on the positive side is that they got DeMario Douglas some opportunities in the rushing attack too. I can't remember if it was a jet sweep or if it was an end around, but they gave him an opportunity in the rushing.
It was an end around.
It was an end around. So, and that's what we wanted to see, right? We wanted to see these guys get opportunities, because last week we saw Jalen Polk with one, and I like Polk. I like what he can do after the catch, but I don't think that he's a guy on end arounds and jet sweeps and misdirections and bubble screens. That's not really a guy you want there. You want your speed guys. You want your guys who are going to be able to just run past defenders. Whether those
any more things you're going to predict? Any more things
you've been hitting? I'm just saying.
You've been hitting.
I have been hitting this season. I've been doing pretty good. Now, obviously, I didn't hit on who was going to win this game. Although, actually, Rob, I need to stop going on a week-to-week basis, bro. I just need to stick with my projection before the season started. I have to drop my record prediction video for the season still, just because I've recorded it 3 times and hated how it came out. And I'm not going to drop a video I'm not confident in. But this is what my predictions before the season started. So this was like 5 days before the game against the Bengals. Bro, if I would have just stuck with this, I would be perfect right now. So, you know what, Rob? Forget it. I'm not going on a week-to-week basis, no matter what happens.
You still think we lose that Dolphins game, though?
At this point, Rob, I don't know. At this point, Rob, I don't believe in anything. At this point, Jalen Phillips is going to give us an 80% pressure rate, and nothing is going to matter. So, at this point, I don't know.
99.9 pressure rate. He's going to be in the backfield all day.
But overall, in this game, they're going to need more from the rushing attack. You know that they don't have a lot from the passing offense, and Jacoby Brissett isn't getting much going because they're not giving him really the opportunity to. This rushing offense through 2 weeks is the bread and butter of this team. It's how they're going to win games. They need Ramondre to rush for at minimum 80 yards per game, and they need him
to hold on to the damn ball, for Christ's sake. Why are you where? Carry it wherever you go. Carry it to the bathroom. Carry it to the plane. Carry it everywhere. Why are you fumbling? Was that the 3rd time? 3
This
games
was
in
a
row?
problem. This was a problem for Ramondre in high school. This was a problem for him in college. This was a problem for him at times throughout his Patriots career. He fumbles the game away against the Bengals in 2022. He fumbled in 2021, I believe it was. It was either 2021 or 2022 against the Miami Dolphins that lost the Patriots the game. Like he's done this before, but this is uncharacteristic for him at this point. I mean,
I think he's had a fumble every game.
He has 3 fumbles. I mean, back-to-back games. He has one against the Bengals. They're able to get it back. He has one against the Seahawks. They're able to get it back. And I said, at some point, he's not going to get lucky. Now, thankfully for the Patriots,
last week.
Thankfully for the Patriots, though, it didn't matter, right? Like it didn't matter for them that he fumbled in this game. Even if he didn't, they would have been screwed.
But it's the fact that I think
But it's the fact that, Rob, at some point, he is going to fumble when it matters.
Stop
And
saying
the
that
game
shit.
is on the line. And it is
Damn it,
going to
man.
screw the Patriots over from winning a game. It's a problem. And at some point, it's going to screw us over when it matters. It didn't matter here, but you know what? It's showing the problem even more. He fumbled before. He was able to get the ball back. He fumbles now. Now he loses it. At some point, it's going to get even worse if he can't get better.
What did Belichick used to always do? Like when the play they would scramble. No. I'm talking about scramble drills. He'd have like the hose and he'd start spraying at them while they're trying to pick up the football and everything. And he's just spraying the hose at them. Did we not do that anymore? Because he needs maybe that's just I don't know. Like I said, just bring the damn football to the bathroom with you. It needs to become part of you.
I don't care what they do at this point, but 3 fumbles in the first 3 games. I mean, bro's on pace right now to fumble 17 times on the season. Like, do we not see how this is a problem? And this is what I said. I said, right now, Ramondre Stevenson is way too focused on making a play. He gets the ball and he's focused on where's the defenders? How can I make a play? Where's the cut? What can I do to be spectacular? Instead of doing the thing you have to do first, the thing that matters the most, ball security, get the ball. Rob. Bro, it's not that hard.
So this is what can I point something, Michaela? Why are you pointing that out in the chat? You're not making it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to call out someone in chat, Colby, but this is just this commenter doesn't make sense. Remember how Pop fumbled and fumbles happen? Well, Mondre's doing it every game.
Yeah, these are very different situations. Obviously, Ramondre Stevenson is fumbling all the time. Pop Douglas fumbled one time, and he was the Patriots.
It was against the Dolphins, and it was from behind, and someone punched it out.
Here's the thing. I don't believe in you fumble one time, go in the doghouse the rest of the season. But when you fumble 3 times in 3 games and now you've lost one, like it is a problem. I don't know what they need to do. At this point, honestly, even if they need to sit Ramondre and be like, you're in the freaking doghouse, Antonio Gibson's our lead back for the next 2 weeks. You're getting 5 carries max. I don't care, bro. He needs discipline, something, because Belichick leaves, bro. Belichick leaves, and now he's like, all right, I can fumble now. Let's do it.
And then Michaela comments, a fumble's a damn fumble. You make no sense.
A fumble is a fumble. A fumble is a fumble at the end of the day. But you have to understand circumstances. You have to understand circumstances. One fumble shouldn't put you in the doghouse. Just like if Ramondre fumbled one time and Gerard Mayo put him in the doghouse after the Bengals game, I'd be like, what are you doing? But 3 games in a row, you've lost one now. It's a problem. And this is something that teams are going to pick up on. They're going to be like, this is a guy that has been having issues taking care of the football. Everybody rally towards him and punch out the football because this is a guy that is now prone to doing it. Again, look, Rob, we've seen several times, though, when they do like replays, he has the ball, but he starts running with it while it's still bobbling. That's the problem. Get the ball, secure the ball, run with the ball. It's not that hard. I will literally send him the to-do list on how to run the damn football. But
I will come to his defense real quick, but do you blame him at this point trying to make some kind of moves and all that stuff? Because like we're always like he's always having to put the damn superhero cape on, man.
But here's the thing, right? He's a dog. We know that you're going to make the plays.
He's a freaking beast.
No problem with it. We know you're going to make the plays. You've proven it. How many times has Ramondre had great games where he didn't turn over the ball? We know you're going to be a dog. You're still going to make the plays. But you first need to worry about securing. Rob, it takes less than a second. It is second nature. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Don't worry about running before you have the ball in your hand. At some point, too, Rob, it's going to get to a point where if he doesn't start thinking about ball security first and focus, he's going to start botching snaps. He's going to start thinking about moving before he gets the ball in his hands, and then we're going to have botched up snaps if things don't start to be fixed around here.
A lot of players, what they tend to do right before when they feel contact, they go immediately to securing the football. I don't think I see him do that, and that's I feel like his biggest problem. Maybe once he feels contact, he needs to just secure it right away. Like just even if you feel like you're confident that you may go to the floor and not fumble it, I still think that maybe that should be something he should use as a point of interest.
I agree. What did you think, though, about these receivers overall, from these running backs out of the backfield, from these wide receivers to these tight ends? What did you think about their performances?
I mean, I thought they did pretty well for what it's worth, man. Like Pop Douglas had redemption game, I guess. We got the ball in his hands, and honestly, anytime he touched the football, big plays or good plays were made. So that's progress. I thought Polk looked pretty good. Hooper had he had a really solid freaking catch to run, if not for Caden Wallace and his holding call. Look, man, I'm impressed. Who was the one that caught the one? It was Hunter Henry that converted the first down where he had 3 defenders converge on him. Great, that was great. But like at the end of the day, I can't really give too much credit to anybody in this game because Jacoby Brissett had 5 milliseconds to throw the football.
Yeah, my kind of opinions here on the overall receiving attack today. It was good that they finally got Pop Douglas involved. This is something that they've been saying for 2 weeks. They want to get their playmakers involved. Jalen Polk, especially DeMario Douglas. This is the first week on which they've actually done so. Look at that. When you get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, splash plays happen. He had a long catch day of 22 yards. He averaged 9.9 yards on average, 9 targets, 7 receptions, 69 yards. This is a guy that they have to get in space and they have to continue to do a better job at it. This is your most explosive guy. He's not a wide receiver 1, but unfortunately, until Kendrick Bourne comes back, he's going to have to be. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I'm not going to lie to you, Rob, especially over how much he was targeted the first 2 weeks. The fact that we didn't see KJ Osborne literally at all in this game, he wasn't even targeted one time, was a big surprise to me. Austin Hooper with another really good game, led the Patriots in receiving yards week 1 against the Bengals. Second for the Patriots in receiving yards here, 4 targets, 1 reception, 19 yards. Should have been even better. Like you mentioned, he had a massive play for a massive gain to where he was down at the 1 yard line. Late in the game, Patriots should have been in the end zone. I mean, they were 1 yard away. They would have been able to get into the end zone and at least go up 10-24, right? Like make this it would have been 10-24 at that point, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it would have been 10-24 at that point. And then it would have been a 14-point game? Am I doing this right? Am I doing math right?
Listen, man, 14, it would have been 14 points. But 14 points is a lot closer than 21.
Exactly. And Patriots wouldn't have won. They would have looked better, right?
Hey, man, at the end of the day, we've seen what happens when you give a team a little bit of life 28-3. So, who knows?
That's true. That is true. But like you mentioned on that play, massive play, great play by Jacoby Brissett, who was able to escape the pocket. He goes out wide, throws on the run with the defender in his face, and Austin Hooper able to make a catch yards after the catch too, pushing defenders down, gets down to the 1 yard line. Play gets called back because of a Caden Wallace hold. Replay of 3rd down. Now they're in 3rd and long. Jacoby Brissett gets sacked, and then the Patriots go from being in field goal position to now being at the 1 yard line and getting a touchdown to now getting a sack on a replay of 3rd down, and they end up punting. So they go from guaranteed points at that point to 0 points. And that's, again, going back to what we said earlier, the Patriots shooting themselves in the foot. Jalen Polk, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 13 total yards. Hunter Henry in the mix a little bit, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 9 yards. I want to see Antonio Gibson be a bigger piece to this Patriots receiving offense, 3 targets, 3 receptions, 8 yards. I want to see him utilized like James White was when he was here with Tom Brady. Use him in the backfield, use him as a slot wide receiver, line him up out wide. Let's remember that Antonio Gibson was a wide receiver converted to running back when he was drafted by the Commanders and he entered the league. I think that's something the Patriots should be utilizing more, and they're just not. And then it was cool to see Kayshon Boutte, right? It was cool to see Kayshon Boutte get into the mix a little bit today, obviously in garbage time with Drake May, but it was cool to see kind of those young bucks, right? It was cool to see too, like when Drake May converted on 4th down with that run, who was the one that blocked for him? That key block with the last defender to allow him to pick up the 1st down? Jalen Polk, right? Like that final kind of few plays there was just like looking at the future of Drake May, Kayshon Boutte, Jalen Polk. That was really cool. Tyquan Thornton didn't really get to do much as your starting X receiver. He was targeted 1 time. It wasn't a catch, but it did allow for a holding call that allowed the Patriots to pick up a massive gain. Obviously, they didn't really do much with it, but nonetheless, those are the type of plays that you're going to get from Tyquan. That's why you target him, is because of that speed. You're going to have defensive backs holding on him a little bit.
I will say this. I don't think Tyquan had a bad game. I think people are not really breaking down what the all the variables of it. And I've been the biggest critic of Tyquan Thornton, but one of the biggest things is, first of all, why throw a back shoulder throw to Tyquan Thornton along the sidelines when he's in double coverage to Jacoby Brissett? What kind of throw was that? But Drawing the PI penalty that kept the drive alive, that was pretty clutch. And I thought he was open a couple times as well. I just got to get him the ball, man, to make it. I don't think – I think his – however, I will say this. I think his speed is overly exaggerated because I don't see it. I don't see it on the field. Maybe because he's got pads on. He's fast without pads on. But when I go to look at, like, he's not really a real – like that big of a separator. He's separating, though, not much, but
he can catch through traffic a little bit when given the opportunity. But yeah, I mean, that 4.2 speed that he had, I feel like you rarely see it, but I feel like a lot of times you actually rarely see that track speed from these players. But what did you think about this Patriots defense as a whole?
I mean, like, bro, like, they were running all over us, and it was like 5-yard chunks at a time. And then when that wasn't working, Rodgers would throw the ball into the flat, and that receiver, whoever it is, I feel like, you ever watch Space Jam? We would grab their. How many times did you see us grab like a piece of their jersey and it just stretches? And it's like, and in my head, I'm like, are they gonna come back to that person because that's not tackling? It just, I don't know.
Yeah. Alex Austin, dude. Alex Austin, you sit out Marco Wilson. He's a healthy scratch in this game.
I will say this, though. That field, what is wrong with that field? Because a couple of our players were, like, slipping.
It's MetLife, bro. MetLife doesn't know how to accurately or have a quality field. I don't know what it is. It's just a common thing. So worst field in football.
13 missed tackles for 100 yards. So that should tell you that's a synopsis of this whole freaking.
Yeah, it's just like I said, dude. All game long, it was you're able to make a play. Like, you are right there. You were able to make a play, and you just see the defender.
How many times? How many times were we in? Yeah, how many times were we in the backfield?
And we were in the backfield a lot on these plays.
And then it would be like they would just brush us off for
if it was just yards. Short tackling, bro. If we just had short tackling in this game,
cut those tackles in half. Cut those missed tackles in half, and maybe it's a closer game. I don't know. I don't think we win the game. Look, we were not winning this game. Yeah. There's no other way around it. But maybe it's closer.
Yeah, I think it definitely would have been closer. I mean, again, a lot of these plays on third down too, like they're just at the worst opportunity. Again, not saying we would have won, but I think it would have been a lot closer than 3-24. Shout out to my boy SGT Moonshine coming in with a crazy donation of $20. You come in and you are saying, "Hey PG, coming in here late on my break, on your break, bro. What the heck? It's like 1 a.m, dog. Where are you? But coming in on my break, hope your mood is better than mine because, man, this O-line just depressed me at this point. Kobe, and as soon to be May can't survive like this. And don't get me started on Savai and Uche. Yeah, they had some pretty rough games on the defensive side of things. Yeah, SGT Moonshine, bro. I don't think we're either of us, me or Rob, are in a better mood than you. Honestly, I might be in a worse mood because I got to go on the AFC East roundtable and hear a bunch of Jets fans say things that are not factual. Again, I hate saying Jets fans because there's some really sweet Jets fans, and I hate like bringing them into this category. But then there's some who just like they create false narratives, and that's what's annoying. By the way, Seahawks beat the Patriots last week. I said the Patriots would beat them that week, and I was wrong. Seahawks fans were literally commenting, "Good game, bro. Good game. Love you, man. Good stuff." Like, if you could just do that and say, "Hey, man, you had us losing. You were wrong there, but good game overall." Like, if you could just talk like that and be respectful, bet, bro, bet. I would have nothing but flowers for you. But it's where you're just like, you know what I'm saying, Rob? You know what I'm saying. I've been talking for like 7 hours. My throat's starting to hurt.
Hey, listen, man, I predicted a win today. Like, you don't, like, nobody bats 100%. It is what it is. Like, and the stats kind of backed up maybe our thought process at why we thought they would win. But when you have plays where you get a tackle for loss to Vi, and then you decide to body slam someone, or Uche, where the play's over and you decide you want to hit the damn quarterback, like, that can be backbreaking. That can set off, I don't know, 15 yards.
Yeah, obnoxious was the word I was looking for. Just don't be obnoxious.
Oh, obnoxious. Oh, yeah,
If
definitely.
you win, just say we won. If you want to say, hey, you were wrong. Hey, I was wrong. I'll take the L on that one.
And you would
But
think
just
that
don't be
Seahawks fans
obnoxious,
would
bro. That's all.
be, and you would think Seahawks fans would be a little bit obnoxious considering we beat them in the Super Bowl and not really fared well
Nah,
since.
bro. They're awesome. They got one of the best fan bases in the entire National
Pretty
Football League.
cool.
Now, I can give you your props when you're like respectful. When you're obnoxious, then
Then we bring up the history book.
Then we bring up the history book. then I hit you with the facts. But shout out to you, buddy. You know, better days ahead. Better days ahead. Everybody wants to say that the Patriots are down in the basement for the next 20 years. Like, you have nothing to back that up.
Hope. You better
have
hope
nothing to back up the Patriots will be in the basement. See, here's the thing. A lot of Jets fans, they self-project because they were in the basement for 20 years. Now they want to see every other team in the basement for 20 years. But the thing is that some teams, they don't suck. And if they do suck, they suck for a couple of years and then they're back to being dominant. The Patriots are one of those teams where, because of their owner, I promise you, they are not going to suck and be the bottom of the crop for years and years to come. It is just a fact. But, buddy, shout out to you for the $20 donation. I do really appreciate that. A couple more things we want to get on here before we bring on the Patreon members. Overall, I feel like I said, there were some bad calls on the Patriots. There were some bad calls on the Jets. That Uche play. I am a Patriots fan, and I am telling you, I hope he gets fined by the NFL. I hope there's discipline from the Patriots side of things.
And Tavai, man.
See, that play, I don't believe in body slamming.
Never mind. I'll take that back.
I don't believe in like body slamming, but here's the thing with Jelani Tavai, and there's always tackles made like that where things aren't called. But Jelani Tavai like had him. Nothing's a whistle. He has him in the air. And he's like this. He's like he has him, and he has him up like he's about to make the tackle, and then like as he's coming, I don't know
if he truly body slammed him. I think they over exaggerated how badly when Rodgers went out of bounds and Keon White went in like tackled him, but it was within bounds, and then all the Jets fucking players on the sidelines are freaking out.
It was just like as he was coming forward, they blew the whistle. It was like gravity was already moving forward. He wasn't going to be able to stop himself at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like they tried to make it like he made that tackle after the whistle was blown. It's like, dude, if I'm already moving forward to like bring a player down and then you call the whistle, like I can't stop it. Like it's just, I don't know. I thought that, again, it could go either way. When big plays like that are made, a lot of times they will call it. But I thought that it was a little bogus. But that Josh Uche play was literally like 5 steps. He took 5 steps after the ball was out and just laid Aaron Rodgers, bro. I was like, what are you doing? There's no room for crap like that in the league. And I will sit here and tell you as a Patriots fan that was a dirty play by Josh Uche. By the way, shout out to the Moses, the right tackle for the Jets. Hopefully that guy's okay. I think he's going to be out for the season, dude. Man. I think he's going to be out for the season. That was on nobody. Nobody played dirty.
Did you see how it was bent?
He went like a lot of times. That's like an ACL or an MCL tear. A lot of times that's what that ends up being.
MetLife too. I don't even think that was MetLife either.
What do you mean?
I don't even feel like that was just MetLife. I think that one of our guys kind of tripped up on the back of his legs and it just contorted a certain direction.
Yeah, man. Just prayers up for him. You hate to see it. And absolute prayers up for Moses because looked like he was in pain, and I think he's going to end up being out for the season. I hope he's not, obviously, but I think that he's going to be out for the season based off of what the play was. We've seen that play several times, and that's usually a season-ending injury, and that's a big, big loss to the Jets if that is the case.
They have Olu Fashanu, don't they?
They do, but, I mean, Moses was playing good football, and Oshanu could. I mean, Olu Fashanu could come in and play really good football. We don't know, though. He's a rookie. When you have a piece for you that's been playing as well as they've had and you lose it, I think that's just always going to be a loss, especially to ask a rookie to come in and replace that. That's really difficult. But at the end of the day, I'll be curious to see these overall pass rush statistics for the Patriots after this game. I feel like they just didn't apply a whole lot of pressure. Trying to see here, actually.
I would like to think that, like, their offensive line and their defensive line, their point of attack, like just how they engage the blocks and how they engage the defensive and offensive line. They played more bully ball than we did, man. Like they really they wanted this game.
Oh yeah. They were definitely a lot more motivated to win this than the Patriots were. But I thought Dietrich Wise had a pretty good day. 3 total tackles, 1 solo, 1 tackle for loss, and a sack. They need to be playing him more. He's had a really low percentage of playing the last 3 weeks. They need to play him more. They need to play him more. Josh Uche in this game having a sack and a tackle for loss. He didn't have a bad game. I just thought he was inconsistent. Anthony Jennings, I thought, had a lot of really good plays, especially behind the line. Not going to give you a lot in terms of pass rush, but 2 tackles for loss. This dude is an absolute dog. He was one of the best in the league last year in terms of defending the run. It's right now, according to statistics, it is the exact same according to Pro Football Focus, Next Gen Stats, and NFL Network. Jonathan Jones, I thought, was very inconsistent in this game, but he had 7 tackles, 1 pass defended, and a forced fumble. He made some plays, but again, he was just wildly inconsistent for the Patriots at the end of things. And I'll just be very curious, like I said, to see what these overall pressure statistics are like for New England. But let's go ahead and let's get on the Patreon members and let's see what they have to say before we call it a day. Tom, buddy, how we doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, buddy. We're going to go one by one for you guys so that each of you has the opportunity to talk and say your own things without getting interrupted or anything like that. But the stat guy, Tom is our stat guy.
I'm the guy that gave you all those donations.
Yeah, that was Joey. Tom is Joey.
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I promise. Imagine Tom's coming in here and he's like, I swear I'm that guy, but he's not. He's like taking credit for the other guy. But Tom,
what a waste of time that would be. So
what do we see today?
So it wasn't good. Let me go. I have a spreadsheet here from Next Gen Stats on both the Patriots and the Jets for all of their O linemen and their tight ends, their running backs, etc. And I'll go one by one, and I'll just quite frankly tell you what I see. For the Patriots, as I told you, David Andrews, he did not have a good day. I'm going to let you know right now. On 35 pass blocking snaps, he allowed 4 pressures, 2 of them being sacks.
Wow.
And he was one-on-one a good 52% of the time. And he gave up pressure an average of 2.97 seconds. So, oof. And then you go to Michael Jordan, the left guard, who ended up leaving because of an injury. Michael Jordan, he had 20 pass blocking snaps. He allowed 2 pressures and an average of 3.15 seconds for pressure. So that was a little better, but not what you want to see. Mike Onwenu, the big Mike, the right tackle, who, like you said earlier, PG, right guard, he should be all pro there, but we don't have any tackles, so you have to put him there. 4 pressures on 35 pass blocking snaps, and he allowed half a sack with an average of 2.65 seconds before giving up the pressure. Not great, not terrible, but you really would rather have Michael Onwenu as a guard. You go into Zach Thomas, who I believe was the left guard at the very end when Michael Jordan went down with some kind of injury. Zach Thomas, 16 pass blocking snaps, 1 pressure, 3.3 seconds. Again, that was toward the end. Kind of hard to determine. Demontre Jacobs, 3 pressures on 11 pass blocking snaps. That's a big oof.
That's a big oof.
Especially since he came in toward the end as well. Demontre Jacobs gave up a pressure in an average of 2.73 seconds. Not good at all. Caden Wallace, the guy who really should be at right tackle rather than left tackle, but he had 24 snaps, 3 pressures, half a sack, and let's see, one-on-one percentage. He was one-on-one 67% of the time, for what it's worth. And he gave up an average of 3 seconds per pressure. Layden Robinson, as I told you earlier, he did not have a good day. 35 pass blocking snaps, 5 pressures, 2.5 sacks. He was one-on-one and average. He was one-on-one 68% of the time. So he wasn't double teaming. He was just one-on-one. And one of those pressures was given within 2 seconds. So it's called a quick pressure on next gen stats. That's going to give you his time to pressure average was 2.6 seconds. Not good at all. Now, if you want to go to the Jets side of things, I knew you were asking about how the pressure was on the Jets side. So if we want to go to their left tackle, Tyron Smith, who they got from the Cowboys, 40 snaps, he gave up 5 pressures. He gave up 2 sacks. One-on-one percentage, 75%. Quick pressures, which is, again, you give up pressure within like 2.5 seconds, 4 times. Average time to pressure, 2.22%. 2.22 seconds. So it seems like whoever is on Tyron Smith did somewhat of a respectable job today. Obviously, you got to wait for the final stuff to come in, but these are numbers as they're coming in. Morgan Moses, prayers out to him. He's the right tackle that got injured. I don't know if he's going to miss the year or what's going to happen with him. You never want to see a guy like that go down, even if it's on the rival team. You never want to see that happen. 34 pass blocking snaps, 4 pressures, no sacks, but he did give up 1 quick pressure, and he gave it up in an average of 3.325 seconds. Going out to, let's see, I'm trying to find the guard for John Simpson for the Jets. 40 pass blocking snaps, 3 pressures allowed, 1 sack, 1 quick pressure, time to pressure, 2.7 seconds. Then you go to Elijah Vera Tucker. You had 40 pass blocking snaps. You gave up 1 pressure. So, I mean, 1 quick pressure, 2.4 seconds. Obviously, the Jets O-line clearly did their job in comparison to the Patriots offensive line. And then when you brought Olu Fashanu in, he was perfect. 6 pass blocking snaps, no pressures, no sacks. Looks promising for them. I mean, and then I'll go on a little further. If you go to Next Gen Stats, they actually have a little model called hurry probability. So it's able to determine how quickly each team's offensive line is giving up a hurry. And in this model, it determines how often an offensive line is going to give up a hurry within 3 seconds of the ball being snapped. The average in 2024 so far, according to Next Gen Stats, it's 40.8%. So 40.8% probability that a hurry is going to be given up within 3 seconds of the ball being snapped. Now, the Jets in this game, that happened 31.5% of the time. For New England, that happened 49% of the time.
Wow.
So not good. I love how Rob just kind of just turned his head over like that.
Rob left. Rob's embarrassed.
It's not good. And I wish I was exaggerating with the 62.8% hurry rate or pressure rate. That is just not good. You can't be giving that up.
Thankfully, there's a freaking mute button because all the expletives I just let out. Oh my God.
Hey, we got to keep it PG in here.
I'm
Gotta
trying
keep it PG.
to.
Yes, sir. Keep it PG. I like it. Or excuse me, Tom, rather. I appreciate you so much for coming in, bro, and sharing these chats, man. I mean, great job, great stuff. And hopefully we see you next week. Hopefully we see you next week because I can't wait to see how.
Where are you getting those? On Twitter?
No, I actually have a guy in the league who has a Next Gen Stats login. He lends me his. So I just use what the league uses. So I'm in the Discord too. Like I can put those stats in the Discord for you and the other members.
Yes, sir, Tom. We would love that. And we really hope that we see you next week live on the show to break this down because Stats Review with Tom was very fun.
Pleasure.
We appreciate you, buddy. See you next week.
Take care.
Have a good day, Tom.
All right. Awesome. Let's bring in DTN. DTN, I know you have fire for me. I know you have fire. Talk to them Jets fans out there, bro.
I am sick to my stomach. I have commented in that chat,
I know, I saw.
Kobe, if you saw that live reaction stream, I was going in all caps telling these Patriots to bounce back. And my boy, it was a massacre. It was a massacre on both sides. we knew for a fact that the Patriots offensive line was that bad, but not that bad that Jacoby Brissett, 4th week in a row, got injured, which I still don't understand.
We just need to make it. We just need him to make it past next week, and then we can get. If we were to start May, it would be the Dolphins game, which everybody's been projecting.
Hopefully, because San Francisco, even though San Francisco doesn't have Deebo Samuel, George Kittle next game, I still think
they have Bosa. That's all that we need to be concerned about. They have Bosa.
Maybe Fred Warner. I don't know. Maybe Fred Warner. I don't know. But going back to the game, I just thought that game was so embarrassing. Even worse than the Cowboys and the Saints game last year. I'm not exaggerating. It was that bad. I started turning off the live stream, knowing for a fact that I would get the same results. And I decided to not look at it again, knowing for a fact that I might get bullied by these Jets fans like I did in the AFC East roundtable. Because after my rant on my take saying, oh, we can beat the Jets, well, I was wrong. Because the Jets went after me. They started bullying me. They started harassing me. Also, I noticed in the group chat an hour earlier, Kobe, there was this one Jets fan who's constantly spamming a lot of hate against you, and I saw one comment from him saying he called you gay, which I don't tolerate.
Yeah,
that is unacceptable.
It just speaks volumes on Jets fans and Jets Nation. At the end of the day, look, if you're going to take personal shots, look, this is all I'm going to say. If you're going to take personal shots at somebody because I didn't stroke your small Jets ween, then go cry somewhere else, bro. Look, I said I gave the Jets the respect. I said that they were a good team. I broke down statistically why I said that this was going to, in my opinion, be a close game that could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm going to take the Patriots. Stats backed it up. There is no single Jets fan that could give me a statistic on why they were going to beat the Patriots. It was just biased opinions. I don't do biased opinions. I don't do anything like that. All I do is I come in with stats and I back it up with my opinion. I do my homework as to why I think someone is going to win or going to lose. I don't like to be a biased Patriots fan. I don't like to be somebody who talks unrealistically. If something can prove to me why something will be something or will not be something, that's what I'm going to roll with. The stats, the math, everything backed up why, at least previewing a game, why I'm going to go with someone. I am human. I am not magical. I don't have a crystal ball, just like either of you Jets fans. None of you Jets fans have a crystal ball, and I can't predict the future. That's just not how it works. You know how many times have Jets fans said for years, we're going to beat the Patriots. We're going to beat the Patriots. We're going to beat the Patriots. And you never did finally until last week, or it's not last week, but the last week of last year. And now this week, you guys finally have done it. But look, you didn't hear any Patriots fans coming at you personally. Keep it respectful. This is football at the end of the day. That is all I'm saying. I'm not always going to be right. You're not always going to be right. When you're predicting a game, you are just giving your personal predictions and backing it up. That's all.
Hey, and if you're going to be right all the time, please do me a favor. Give me your Las Vegas bets. I'll just start sending them out to Las Vegas and make some money. Because
I gotta say, Kobe, I agree that you need stats to back up because, for example, in school, if you have to like write an essay or something or doing a project, and if you don't back up the evidence, then the professor would like give you a bad grade, not citing your evidence. You're just coming up with random BS that makes no sense, and there's no credibility from these Jets fans, which is so annoying that I was close to thinking about ending my membership with AFC East Roundtable, fearing that these Jets fans are going to go after me. So that's why I was
at the end of the day, man. Let them have their moment, man. They won the game, man.
They won this game.
That's the thing about you have to think about it from the flip side of it, DTN. If we had won this game, you'd be gloating too. So let them have their moment, man. At the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's just let's not make it personal. Let's never do that. Some of the words that I guess I saw it in the chat. I just never brought it up. Sometimes it's just best to just ignore that. We're talking sports here.
We're talking sports, bro. That's all. That's all. It's all love at the end of the day. It's all love. There's no need to keep
Hey,
anything.
we ain't making excuses. Y'all beat us fair and square today. We got our ass beat.
Like I said, bro, this is the thing. This is the thing with Jets fans that I've learned. And by the way, all of my buddies, other than Richie on the AFC's roundtable, said the same thing. The thing about the Jets and Jets fans is just the fact that if you say one negative thing that is not positive about them, if you are not stroking the ego, then it is a problem. And that's the thing. I gave the Jets their flowers. I've been giving them their flowers the offseason. I give them their flowers when I was previewing. But because I didn't pick their team, because I didn't say we were going to get blown out, all of a sudden I'm getting hate and I'm an idiot and I'm stupid. At the end of the day, keep it real, y'all. Jets, Gary, I appreciate you so much for coming in. You said, good game, Pats fans. Good game, Gary. And shout out to Gary. You deserve the win, buddy. You are the better team. Gary, I am so happy for you, buddy. Seriously. You're a good Jets fan. You're a good person, and you deserve a good win. And you got that today. So shout out to you, bud.
GG's to that fest. Just like how we say GG's to that one Seattle fan last week. Like I give props to Seattle having their great performance. Jets fan. I even last night I even gave Dan props just because how well the Bills played. And I know that, and I know for a fact that's because I don't have to target the Bills fans, knowing for a fact that they have owners for like the past, I don't know, few years, which I don't blame, and I'm not going to go attack any panelists on the AFC East roundtable just because I respect them and I will let them say their own opinions. I don't care about any of the negative stuff. It's them. But at the end of the day, I was so close to giving up, but it's still September. If we don't get our crap together by November or December, then yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be like, oh, time to move on to watching the NBA and watch the Celtics. And I was so close to having that mentality. But after San Francisco, if things go out well against Miami, then we should see some improvement. Yeah, there needs to be a lot of discipline on the defense because penalties killed us once again. And no, Marco Wilson was not on the starting lineup, thank goodness. But then again, it just got worse with more penalties and penalties. Also, Hayden Wallace, I understand that you had a bad day, but you made it worse with those two holding penalties that prevented us from getting to field goal range, and then we had to punt that damn ball. Like, come on, man. You got to do a better job. Like, I understand the O-line, it needs a lot of work. A lot of work. And I think somebody mentioned that we can trade away for Evan Neal from the Giants. I don't know if that's a possibility. I don't know when the trade deadlines are happening this year, but at some point we need to consider adding some new members specifically on the O-line because the O-line's not getting better.
I respectfully disagree on that matter because I think that because of how valuable our trade assets are going to be, if anything, we are going to be sellers, not buyers at the trade deadline. We're not competing for anything. This is a rebuild. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So if you become buyers, how much better does that make you? That's why once we weren't really going to get a Brandon Ayuk, I didn't know how I was going to feel about the season. And to go back to what you said, man, you need to stop thinking about all of our season being predicated off wins and losses. That's not going to deter. Like I said, you could get 6 wins, but it looks like a meddling team. But if you get 4 wins and we're competitive, and it looks like there's a lot of hope, I'd rather have 4 wins. The biggest thing that we need to draw from this season, man, don't look at wins and losses. It's going to suck because you're going to have everybody and all their critics telling us about how much we suck. Let's see how long it lasts once we have the most cap space, or at least one of the most amount of cap space going in next year, and we'll maybe have a higher draft pick. Build the offensive line and see how everything else fall into place.
I understand. I know all of that.
Just be positive, man. Just be positive.
I understand. All of that, it all started. I knew for a fact that it was meant to be a rebuild year, but ever since that upset win against the Bengals. I think I got a little carried away thinking that the Patriots would dominate. And I know for a fact we've won 6 Super Bowls. I know for a fact that we have dominated in the AFC East division, but it just feels different. It just feels different that we're not in the same situation anymore. But at the end of the day, well, I understand that we need more draft capital just so we can bring in some new players and hopefully have them develop properly. Just because the fact that Drake May went out for the final drive, it was cool that we got to see him. The fact that I was crying to my stomach that he got sacked twice. I thought, like, please don't let him be murdered just because of how bad our O-line is. But we shall see. It's just week 3. We got like
I got you, bro.
14 to 15 games, 14 games left. So yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anyway,
DTM, brother, I appreciate you so much for coming on. I hope to see you Wednesday on the AFC East Roundtable. Don't let anybody get to you. We'll see you next week here on this channel. Like I said, I hope to see you Wednesday because Pats Nation, we got a group together. Let me tell you, they're going to try to create false narratives just like they always do. But at the end of the day, we know what's real. We know our team better than everybody else. And we know that Robert Kraft is not going to allow this team to be bad. By the way, Patriots had one bad season last year. They had a 4-win season last year. Other than that, since Tom Brady has left, they've been in the playoff discussion every single year since Tom Brady has left. And one of those years, they actually made it. So this bottom of the league crap for 20 years that everybody's talking about, it doesn't hold weight. It doesn't make sense. They're going off of 1 year, and they're making a false narrative. But DTN, we appreciate you, brother, and we will see you next week. But Red Sox, last one of the chat today. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good.
What'd you think? What'd you think tonight? Give it to me.
Team's just bad. They're not good. They're not good. Like, look, Brisket, he doesn't like to throw the ball. That's okay. He's not going to be on the team next year. Everybody's thinking, oh, this year is no. All right, they're not a playoff. They're not even going to sniff the playoffs. That's out of the question. Them winning 5 games is they got too many injuries. Sure, you could toss it up to that, but like end of the day, this team's just it's a sinking ship, and it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. Like, yeah, everybody wants to bring up these stats. All these, like, dude, stats are for fucking losers, man. Bill Belichick said this in 2009 or 11. Stats are for losers. Final scores for winners. Jets beat the Patriots. End of it. It was 24-3. There's no. They're like, they can beat teams in week 1, and then they can beat the kind of maybe teams like the Seahawks. The Seahawks are a 50-50 team, but the Jets this year, they are probably the number 1 team that's going to be contending with KC. Like,
I don't know about that, man.
Who else is going to contend?
Listen, look, the Jets have sucked. I'm sorry, the Jets have really stunk it up the last
This was their Super Bowl. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Listen, the Patriots have played better football. Not this week, obviously, but before this game, heading into week 3, the Patriots played better football than the Jets did. That is just a fact, okay? The Jets had looked like crap the last 2 weeks. Now they stomped on an in-division opponent on a Thursday night football game. Can they do it against other teams? That is the question. That's what we still have to see moving forward. This could be the momentum booster for the Jets. It could have been a one-off against a team they hate. We don't know. We have to see. But at the end of the day, again, it matters how you end. It doesn't matter how you start. And we just have to see if the Jets can get better from here on out. But again,
correct. A lot of feedback.
I'll give you this too. When the Patriots were dominant for the 20 years that they were, whenever they lost in September, it's early in the season. It is still very early in the season. So again, you're right. The Jets could absolutely take off from here. But like I said, I have them picked as the team to contend with KC
They
For
beat
the
the Titans and us, man. Let's pump the brakes. They beat the Titans and us. Let's pump the brakes on them. Let them beat a
Right.
team that's actually worth talking about.
I mean, you see, that's the type of thing that I don't like, though. It's like they don't have a significant weakness right now. Their offensive line was
I
good.
mean,
Aaron
Jordan
Rodgers
Mason.
is good.
Jordan
They
Mason
have a
ran
great
for
running
over
back.
150 yards on them.
What?
The 49ers ran all over them.
That's the 49ers.
But I mean,
Okay,
even
well,
Tony
that-
Pollard last week had a good game.
But,
The Niners, though.
but that's my point. They beat the Titans and us. They haven't beaten anybody worth talking about yet. So
I
let's
mean,
pump
look,
the brakes on them.
they looked good this week. That defense finally looked good. Are they
Okay, yeah, and they said it in the game, though. Garrett Wills, they had everybody sitting in the first game. Garrett Wilson sat the second half. Sauce Gardner sat the second half.
I think they sat because they were done.
Yeah.
They weren't coming back. But still, they conceded. They lost because they were getting wiped the first half.
Yeah. Again, that was week 1, though. So all I'm saying is you could say pump the brakes, but I'd say watch the Jets. Because
hey, look, definitely,
they're probably going to be a contender, if not the contender, to compete with KC. I don't see, like, the Ravens. Lamar Jackson has not looked good. Let's be honest. Lamar Jackson has not looked good. And outside of the Ravens, it's who else in the AFC? The Bengals, who haven't looked good. Granted, the Bengals always never look good in the first couple weeks.
The Bills, the Texans.
I raise you the Texans and Bills that will wipe the floor with the Jets.
I don't know if the Texans would either.
Texans have been killing it, dude. They put up historical numbers.
Texans might. They're another good team. They're another team that I'd say would compete, but Jets with the experience and I'd say
what
pound for pound.
I'm sorry. Look, man, Joe Mixon's going to run all over that defense. Joe Mixon, and then you have to contend with Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, John Mechie, Tank Dell. No, thank you. Will not win that game against the Texans. And then the Bills are just the Bills
with no weapons.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say no weapons.
They don't have there's no Diggs on that team anymore. Like I said, the AFC East is wide open.
Yeah, look,
except for the Dolphins. Dolphins are done. They can wrap it up. Done. They don't got a quarterback. Tua is not good either. I've said that for a long time. Tua is not good. But
yeah, here's what I'll say about the situation. Obviously, we don't know what these players are going to be like yet. It doesn't matter how you start the season. It matters how you finish. That does include the Jets. They could be great. They could be terrible. We obviously just don't know yet. And at the end of the day, it matters how you finish the race. There's a lot of better teams. I think the Jets have obviously shown weaknesses, but you can start off slow and get better, as we've seen. But we're talking about that situation for the Jets. Well, if that's the case, we also have to keep an eye out for the Bengals. We have to keep an eye out for the Ravens, who also could be good teams who are just starting off slow. We just have to see. The Jets finally turned it on in week 3. We haven't seen week 3 from the Bengals or week 3 from the Ravens or week 3 from the Bills yet. So that's something that we still have to see. But Red Sox, buddy, we appreciate you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week. I'm sure the Jets fans are going to love that you actually gave them some love. I think they think that all Patriots fans are stupid. So I'm going to show this to every Jets fan I know and be like, hey, if we can be nice, you can be nice. Shout out to my boy Red Sox, longtime supporter, brother. I appreciate you so much. Big shout out again to BetUS, guys. By the way, remember that you guys, if you sign up for BetUS right now, go ahead, use the mobile app, look up the website at BetUS. You guys can get an exclusive limited time offer of a 150% sign up bonus on your first deposit, all the way up to $2,000. Wait, hold up. I said that wrong. You can get a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit using the promo code YouTube150. Again, that is YouTube150. And then on your next 2 deposits, you can get a 125% sign-up bonus. That is a deal on your first 3 deposits all the way up to $2,000 when you, again, use the promo code YouTube150. YouTube150. Use the promo code when you sign up, and that deal will immediately be in your account. Want to give a big shout out to my boy Patriots92, who donated a little while ago. Want to give you your love and your shout out. You said Patriots should have brought back Josh McDaniels for their offensive coordinator. His play calling was top notch. Was his play calling great, or was it because of the personnel he had? Like, I think Josh McDaniels was a great play caller, a great offensive coordinator, but at the end of the day, could he do that same thing with what he's being given with right now? That's the question. Like, what would Alex Van Pelt have done with Tom Brady and Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski, right? That's the thing to remember. I like Josh McDaniels. I love Josh McDaniels. I think he's always going to be better as an offensive coordinator and not a head coach. But I also think that at the end of the day, he's kind of left.
His offense is so damn His offense was so damn predictable, man. Let's stop hyping up Josh McDaniels. He rode the coattails of Tom Brady. Like his offense was very predictable. 3rd and long, what is it going to be? It's going to be a screen, or it's going to be a misdirection run to freaking Brandon Bolden. Like his offense. Let's call it a spade. I'm happy we have AVP. At least with his plays, it's a little less predictable.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to my boy King Cat real quick. King Cat is a great Jets fan. I have so much respect for King Cat. This dude in the AFC's roundtable drops like $500 sometimes, bro. King Cat, I still don't know what you do for a living, but like if this doesn't work out for me, get me a job wherever you're working, brother, because my God, you got some dough. But big shout out to you, brother. I have so much respect for you. I love you so much. You said, do you still think that Brissett is playing better than A-Rod? Look, here's what I'll say. Again, Jets fans just need to understand that there's a difference of opinions. You guys want us to understand as Patriots fans that you have a difference of opinions, then please understand that we have difference of opinions. By the way, I know King Cat ain't having any hate or whatnot. He's just having a little bit of fun. He's not a bad guy at all. But here's what I'll say too. When I said that A-Rod is playing better, I said A-Rod played better, in my opinion, in week 3. Let's put the caveat on it. Let's not make this like I said Jacoby Brissett was better than Aaron Rodgers. That never once happened, and I've heard Jets fans try to make it that. All I said was that the statistics were very similar. Yes, Aaron Rodgers had a better overall rating. Yes, Aaron Rodgers had one more passing touchdown. He had like 30 extra yards, but you also got multiple turnovers from the Titans offense, and Jacoby Brissett put up 20 points by himself with no help from special teams, with no help from defense, drove down the field with an offensive line that was allowing a 50% pressure rate, with wide receivers that weren't getting open and doing absolutely nothing, and still drove this Patriots team to a win. To me, that made it more impressive in my mind. When the statistics were that similar, they were that small, and I looked at what Jacoby Brissett was able to do as a Patriots fan, maybe I was a little biased. I don't care. We're all a little biased to our own teams. I thought it was more impressive. I stand by it. I'm not going to apologize for that one whatsoever. But shout out to King Cat, the sponsors of the AFC East Roundtable. By the way, Jets for life. Bro, stop hating. You can clearly see that we're finally starting to gel. Nobody's hating. Nobody has literally said anything about the Jets whatsoever. Like, as Patriots fans and everybody watching, you guys can literally see what I'm saying. If you literally say one negative or constructive thing about the New York Jets, they start running down your throats and making it personal.
How many times this stream did we say they beat us fair and square? We didn't bring up a flag or anything. We said they beat us fair and square. Y'all Jets fans just need to stop. Seriously.
We said you guys were better. We said you guys won fair and square. I gave you guys your props all off season. I gave you guys your props before the game. I gave you your props.
Congratulations. Okay. You got a 41-year-old quarterback. Let's see how long that lasts. Please hold on to whatever glimmer of hope you got.
Look, you guys are good. You guys are good right now. Well, okay, you guys were good this week. Let's see if we can continue to be better. You guys are good this week. Let's see if it can change the New York Jets.
Win a damn playoff game and then start talking. We won a Super Bowl in 2018. When's the last time you've done anything?
Just for Life comes back and says, yes, Spiteful, I can see that the Pats has owned us for a good minute because y'all had the GOAT, but now tables have turned, so just take it with the chin. But the tables haven't turned,
won 2 games, bro.
This is the thing. Please.
Games.
Listen, this is the thing. Just look at the
facts.
Holy
crap.
Look at the facts. You guys are about to have the monkey off your backs. Jets for life. I don't know if you were here earlier, so I'm going to say this one last time. If you guys can beat the Patriots at Gillette Stadium later this season, the monkey's off your back. And that might be generous. Okay, the fact that the Patriots
very generous. We beat them 16 times. The
fact that the Patriots beat you 15, 16 times in a row when you finally
in a row.
Look, I'm being a good Patriots fan. I'm saying if you can beat us 3 times in a row, the monkey is off your back, and nobody owns anybody. It's a fresh start. And if you can beat
the Bills own everybody.
Listen, if you can beat the Patriots 2 times next year, if you can blow us out again next year, I will say you own the Patriots now. but you have beat the Patriots 2 times. They owned you for 20 years. They beat you 15 straight times. You won 2 games. The monkey's not off your back yet. The tables haven't turned yet. I've given respect to the Jets, okay? And that's the last thing we're going to say, okay? That is the last thing that we are going to say. The tables haven't turned yet. It's been 2 games. 2 games. Okay, let's just calm down. They owned you even when Brady left. So why you're saying they didn't, I don't know. They owned you in 2020, 2021, and 2022 when Brady wasn't here. So
yeah, Noodle Arm, Cam Newton, and Mac Jones.
Again, it's just the fact what you're saying. The facts aren't right. That's all I'm saying. Look, it's gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun on Wednesday. All I'm saying is that if you're a Jets fan, I'm gonna say this one last time. I have nothing but love. I have nothing but respect for all of the Jets creators. Those guys are my brothers. I love Richie. I love Ryan. I love Ian. Those guys are my absolute brothers. So many really great Jets fans. Jets Gary, buddy. You are a great Jets fan. So many other great Jets fans that were in the chat and respectful. I appreciate you guys. And at the end of the day, just know it's football. Just know it's love. Just know it's football, but just keep it real. Just keep it real. I respect all of you guys, even Jets for life. I know we were going at it, but I respect you, buddy. Congrats on the win one last time. Congrats on the win to all the Jets fans. Great game. You guys are the better team than the Patriots. I've said it a billion times. I've been saying it. You're the better team than the Patriots right now. On paper in this game, you guys were able to really turn it around from what you've done the last 2 weeks. And if you guys can use this as motivation moving forward and make this the game that turned your team around, you're definitely going to be a team to watch as we get closer and closer down this season. So shout out to the Jets. You guys won fair and square. And yeah, happy for you guys. But that is going to be it for today's video. Rob, any last words before we end this one off?
I don't know, man. We got abuse all this stream, man. I don't know how many times we told the Jets they won fair and square. They can't even take a damn win without trying to make it an argument. Y'all beat us. Okay, we're in a rebuild. Congratulations.
All right, guys, that's going to end it for today's video. Again, make sure to check out BetUS and use the promo code YouTube150 for a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, and then a 125% sign-up bonus on your next 2, all the way up to $2,000. Appreciate you guys for watching. We will see you guys a little bit later on this week. Take the weekend. Take this short mini bye week to just enjoy life and just have fun. Falls around the bend. Go do some fun things. I know that I'm going to try to use this weekend to be a little bit more productive, get some homework done, and hopefully cheer myself up. But guys, we'll be dropping content for you guys in the near future. I want to have a video dropping on my final record prediction that I've tried to record 4 times the last 3 weeks, and maybe this will finally be the one that
once again, be positive, Pats fans. It's a rebuild. Come on.
Yeah, we know. We know what this
negative.
is. We know what this is.
Don't be negative. We know exactly.
Yeah, this is a rebuild. It was always going to be a rebuild. No matter how we looked the start of the season, it was always going to be a rebuild, and they were going to treat it as a rebuild. They had a plan before we started the season. That is the plan, that no matter how this team performed, they were going to continue to adapt. So
I just hope they execute that said plan to perfection.
Yeah, guys, keep in mind too, just because Gerard Mayo isn't going out with a bunch of wins right now doesn't mean they're going to be bad. Like I said, this is not a Houston Texans CJ Stroud rebuild.
Doesn't happen.
This is a Dan Campbell Detroit Lions rebuild. Keep in mind, their first year, they won 3 games. Their second year, they just missed the playoffs by 1 game. I think they won 9 games. Their year 2 started the first half of that season off bad, killed it in the second half of the season, brought that momentum into last year in 2023, having the second best record in the entire National Football League and almost going to the Super Bowl. So guys, the rebuild, it's going to take time. It is year 1. There is a blueprint. Let's just continue to follow it. Correct rebuilds take time. They don't just take 1 year. But we appreciate you guys for watching. We will catch you guys a little bit later. Make sure to follow Rob on Instagram for all of the best Patriots content and really Boston sports content out there. Statistics, breakdowns, opinions, live streams on his end. He does it all for you, Pats Nation. I promise you guys are not going to want to miss out on the best content on the damn platform. So follow Rob on Instagram right here. That's the handle, Patriots7. And we will catch you guys next week. Appreciate you guys for watching. And again,
love
y'all. Go Pats.
Go Pats.